Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome in. Let me get a little bit of music playing in the background here for us, so we can have some nice chilled vibes. I think we need some chilled vibes. Hopefully, you guys can hear that. Let me see here. Do I need to turn the volume up? Maybe. Mayhaps I need to turn the volume up. Let me move over here actually. Don't know if you guys can hear that. You'll need to let me know. Can you hear? I am playing a little bit of music here. Might turn it up a little bit. Let me know if you guys can hear it. Hello, Robert. Hi, Java. Hi, Ryan. Welcome to the stream. Please let me know if you can hear this in the background. Right now, it's not quite, or it's kind of showing actually. It's quietish. It's showing up on my audio levels, so I think it's fine. Can't hear it? Okay, maybe it's too quiet. Turn it up a little bit. Right now it is showing on my OBS that it's like there's sound coming. Because I can see the level going up and down. Oh, you can hear it now? Oh, good. Perfect. But do I still sound okay? The music's not too loud? It is pretty quiet music, to be fair. It's meant to be chilled out music. Do I sound loud enough, though? Does my volume seem okay? Because these are the teething problems we should get out of the way before we go. Sounds good? Awesome. Right, well, if that is the case, then we can move over to this other screen here. And basically, the idea for this stream is that it is very warm, and I've had a very rough day at work, so I figured, you know what, we're just going to have a very chill stream. This is going to be a very, very laid-back, chillax stream, and we're basically just going to assemble my commander decks. We're going to build our commander decks. We're going to chat about it. Talk a little bit about Magic, talk a little bit about whatever you guys want to talk about. Basically, it's like, this is essentially just chatting, but I've also added the part of me building a commander deck in front of you guys. You can see my lists and you can see my thought process. If you guys have any questions about my thought process when building decks, or what in particular the deck I'm building is supposed to do, or if you just have any questions in regards to cards that I've included in these decks, please feel free to comment. I'm always here to answer questions. But yeah, I have a whole bunch of commander decks sitting next to me. I don't know which one to start with, so I'm going to throw it to Robert, who knows the majority of my decks very well. I say very well. He knows the commanders at the very least, and has played against a few of these. So Robert, what deck do you think we should start with for building on the stream? Which one do you think we should start off as? Like, to get the ground running, where should we begin? I have pretty much every deck, I believe, that I currently have that's playable. Morcant? Oh, Morcant. That's a nice choice. Okay, hold on. Let me grab Morcant. Luckily you can't see the tower of deck boxes that is currently sitting next to me. There we go. Let me move these out of the way. Hold on. Makes a little bit of room. Okay, so go away, Norton VPN. We don't need you right now. Okay, so the commander for this deck, we have Perfect. Oh no, that's the name, sorry. So, name of this deck, I guess we'll just call it... Yes, mother. And our commander is Perfect Morcant. Great. So, Perfect Morcant. Here she is. Lovely lady. Can I get a better look at her? Hopefully. Let me change... can I change how this looks? More... Hold on. I want to change how this looks. Visuals. Yes. I want visual spoilers. Visual spoilers. And we'll do it by type. And let's include the... sort by name. Include price. There we go. Nice. So hopefully now, will it let me view details? There we go. Okay, now we can get a little zoom in here. So, this is our commander for this deck. Robert has picked out this deck for me to build up on stream and show you guys. So, this is High Perfect Morcant. She is Elf Noble. She costs 4. She is 2 colorless, 1 black, and 1 green. And her ability here says that whenever High Perfect Morcant or another elf you control enters, each opponent blights one. And now blight is a mechanic in which when it says blight, you have to put a -1/-1 counter on a creature that you control. Specifically, because of the wording of things, your opponent who is blighting is the one who puts the counter on it, not you, the person who's activating the blight effect, because that is a very specific difference. You would think that is not important. However, wording, very important for Magic. This matters, actually. It matters who's placing the -1/-1 counter on the creature. However, she also has another ability, which is you tap 3 untapped elves you control, and you proliferate. And for those who don't know what proliferation is, it means you choose any number of permanents and/or players and give each another counter of each kind already there. So basically, if you've got a +1/+1 counter on something, you proliferate, you add another +1/+1 counter. So you have 2, which is fantastic. Now, if I remember correctly, I don't think I added any new cards from the Marvel set to this deck. Because I didn't double check beforehand whether or not the Marvel cards have been added to the database yet. So it means bite the pillow. Yeah, pretty much. It means bite the pillow. However, we are going to go over this one. I believe technically there is a new card in here, but the new card is something that I bought. It's not part of the Marvel set. So we shouldn't have any issues there with that. I am going to, just quickly before we start going over cards, I'm going to see if I can find the lands in this deck first so that we can get those out of the way first, because 9 times out of 10, the lands are not the interesting part of the deck. I mean, you can have some spicy lands, but they are not like the main thing that this deck is, you know, built around. It's not exactly a landfall deck or anything of the sort. We are just... The idea of it is basically we flood the field with a bunch of elves. We have a big old elf party. We make our opponent's lives miserable by how many elves we've got. And all the fun things they can do. They can do all sorts of things. They can... Well, for one, they can blight. 2... They can swarm the board very quickly if left unchecked. Like, if any of our pieces that allow us to basically either, like, double or triple or just continuously create elves, then that's a problem. We are the threat. One of the main caveats with this deck, however, I will say, is that in an effort to go wide, so in an effort to, like, make a very, like, big board, a lot of our creatures are not particularly strong. So the one caveat is that most of them are fairly low power. There are a couple of creatures in here who are, like, a little bit bigger. So there are some stronger creatures in here. Not a lot, because for the most part, elves are pretty cheap, but then also not very strong. So they rely heavily on, like, buffs, like field buffs from each other. They rely on numbers more than anything, rather than just straight up power for. So, like, we've not got, like, just one elf who is definitely going to be the be-all end-all, because for the most part, all the elves need to help each other. They need to help each other out and be the bestest of buds, essentially. So, I'm just going to finish sorting out the lands, which, conveniently enough, most of the lands are together, because I was going through this earlier on to figure out what cuts I wanted to make for the new card I picked up at the weekend. So, convenient for me, the lands are pretty much sorted. Now, I'm pretty sure I've counted this in that I should have exactly 100. Sometimes when I'm building decks, I will just forget that I have an extra card. So if we do have an illegal, like 101 card, don't mind me. But pretty much we're good to go. So let us start putting in cards. We'll get the boring stuff out of the way first. We'll get the lands out of the way. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 forests. We've got 9 forests here, so let's pop them in. I hope you like the chilled vibes in the background. We're not particularly caring about which printing of forest we have here. I like to use like full art lands. So I'll switch printing here. I suppose for the sake of it, let's just say it's this one. Let's just say it's this forest. It's quite a nice looking forest. Not all of my forests are this one, but for the sake of it, I'm not going to go through and look up every single art that I have because I do have different arts for all my cards and stuff like that. Most of them are pretty much full art. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, 9 forests. So let's add some more forests. So we want to add 8 more. Boop. Off to a good start. We got some lands. We got some lands here. Now we're going to go over to Swamp. Green, I think, is like the main color for this deck. Like, the majority of cards are green. However, we do have black as, I say as a backup. It is the secondary color. But I feel like this deck leans more heavily into the green side of things than it does the black. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 swamps. 7 little swampies. Swamp. So we want to add 6 more. Boop. There we go. And then we'll change the printing. You know what? Let's go with... let's go with this. I like this one, so let's go with this one. Actually, I want to change this one now. Just because it'll match nicer. Switch printing. Let's go with the Strixhaven one. There you go. They look nicer, don't they? That looks nice. I like that. I like that. So, off to a good start. We've got some lands. I know for the most part when building commander decks, there's a lot of debate about whether or not, like, what's the optimal number of lands? Theoretically. I think most people, a lot of people jump between, like, the 30s. Like, some people kind of go more lean in their lands, and they'll go, like, maybe 31, 32. If I can help it, I will try to lean closer towards, like, 35 or 36. That might be too many lands. I don't know. But you also have to bear in mind that we include mana rocks, so we do have some form of ramp. So, next up we have... Get the staples out of the way. We have the good old command tower. Command tower, my beloved. Let us... What printing do we want to use? Let's use... the Furby one. Sadly, don't have the Furby one. Master Emerald Shrine. Where's the Miku one? There's the SpongeBob one. Miku. We'll use the Miku. Or actually, maybe we shouldn't because the Miku one is actually expensive. That's inaccurate to the actual value of the deck. So let's just grab a basic command tower. Let's just grab your most basic ass command tower that we can find. Which I believe is this one. There you go. Basic ass command tower. It's here. What does it do? It adds 1 mana of any color in our commander's color identity. It's basically the jewel land that is not a jewel land because it just depends on our commander. And that's fine by me. So now we're getting into actual dual lands, which are black and green for us. So we have the Temple of Malady, I think. Very simple. This land enters tapped, and when it enters, we scry one, meaning we look at the top card of our library, and we can put that card on the bottom. So a nice little bit of kind of insight into what we could potentially be drawing into. Okay, next, oops, that's a caps lock. We don't want that. If we have caps locks, then we're going to have a hard time finding cards. And it also helps if I can spell cards correctly. So, next land we have Llanowar Wastes. Again, fairly simple dual land here. It taps for colorless, but then it also taps for black or green. But if we do so, this land will deal 1 damage to us. In the grand scheme of things, we are more than likely just going to use this for the colorless mana. However, if in a pinch we really badly need the colored mana, we can theoretically afford to lose a little bit of life. There is some life gain in this deck, so it's not like we're gonna never have life. But yeah, potentially. Right, hold on a minute. Have I miscounted here? Let me... I might actually have more forests than I thought. Hold the phone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 here. And then... Oh, there's a couple more. Hold on. 1, 2... Oh, no! Oh my goodness! I'm a fool. I've missed some forests. Hold on. We need to rectify this. Hold your horses. So we have... There's one more... No. Yes. One more forest. So we have 10 forests. Add 1. And then for swamps, we've got 3 more swamps. That's fine. 3 more swamps. Swamp. Add more. 3. Perfect. So we've got 10 of each basic land. So we're already at 20 for basic lands, which you might think, gee, Scribble, that's a lot of basic lands. Well, don't you fret, because we don't have a lot of other lands left in our hand right now currently. Right, so we've got the Llanowar Wastes. That's fine. Next dual ones we have. Oh, thank you so much for the lurk, CC. Welcome in. Thank you so much for popping in. And feel free to lurk. Have a lovely time. We're just having a nice little chill time. Going over some cards, just chatting some Magic. Mainly because it's way too warm, and I don't think my computer could handle playing a game right now, because it is absolutely scorching, and my computer might melt. For as good as my computer is, I do fear for its life when the weather gets this bad. So next we have a Subterranean Cavern. So this one, again, enters tapped. You'll find that a lot of, like, dual lands or whatever usually come in tapped, unless there's, like, some kind of condition, or they just come in tapped regardless. This one enters tapped, but when it enters, we gain a life. So look, we've already got a little bit of life gain. Also, I need to double check here. Do I have 2 Llanowar Wastes here? Have I miscounted the Llanowar Wastes? No, we've not. I've just put it in the wrong pile. Because I'm smart like that. There we go. Okay. Llanowar Wastes is back in the right spot. And next up we have... Eclipsed Realms. Smart, yes. SMRT, I'm very smart. So we have Eclipsed Realms. This one is from... I think this one is from Lorwyn? It says ECL, so it must be Lorwyn Eclipsed, I'm pretty sure. So this is Eclipsed Realms. As this land enters, you can choose Elemental, Elf, Fairy, Giant, Goblin, Kithkin, Merfolk, or Treefolk. You can add 1 colorless mana, or you can add 1 mana of any color, spend this mana only to cast a spell of the chosen type or activate an ability of a source of the chosen type. So basically, this is, you know, tribal land specifically for the Lorwyn tribals. And for this deck, we always pick Elf, because that's the creature... To be fair, I think there is, like, 1 or 2 non-elves in this deck, but pretty much the majority of the creatures are all elves. So, for the most part, this land will work for all of our cards. Except for maybe 1 or 2. But that is fine, because we've got other lands to deal with that. Okay, next we have Le Bog. A lovely bog. This one is from the Fallout set, actually. This is a Fallout card. You need to filter 1 mana into it to tap it. However, when you do tap it, you get black and green. which is fabulous for us. So a little bit of color fixing, and not quite ramp, but like doubling mana where we need it. So not much to say about that, but we do like it. I don't tend to use the filter kind of lands too much, because sometimes I forget that they don't just tap for mana themselves, and I'll have it sitting there and I'll be like, gosh, I wish I could tap that to do something, but alas, it is not to be. Next we have a little Final Fantasy land here, actually. We have Gone, or Gone, I think it's Gone. Gone, the Town of Ruin. Again, enters tapped, but it taps for black and green. And other than it being tapped when it enters, no downside at all. No downside. So we stay winning in this house. We stay winning. We have a Jungle Hollow. Again, this one enters tapped. However, this is another one where when it enters, we gain a life. Tap it for black or for green. The lands are probably the simplest cards in this deck, because we're going to get into some very complicated cards later on when you have to think about the interactions that we can have. So next up, we have Titan's Grave. Another very simple one. This one also enters tapped. Produces black or green. However, what we can do is that we can pay 2 colorless, a black and a green, and tap it to surveil 1. And to surveil, you look at the top card of your library, and you may put it in your graveyard. Sometimes good for those decks that want a little bit of graveyard interaction, a bit of graveyard recursion. I don't think I ever use that effect. I am mainly using this land purely for having black and green. I don't think I ever surveil with it, because that's not the point of the deck. We have Strangled Cemetery. Enters tapped unless a player has 13 or less life, which probably by the time that happens, we're probably not bothered too much about how much lands we've got, but sometimes if you play this turn 1, it's not the worst thing in the world, you know, like get it out early, where it being tapped isn't too much of an issue. And it just taps for black and green. Fun times, fun times. Now we've got a little funny card here, so let me... Thespian's Stage. And I actually have the Miku Secret Lair version, so we'll pick that one. There we go. It's the Miku version. Miku. This one is, it taps for colorless mana, but you can pay 2 and tap it, and Thespian Stage becomes a copy of target land, except it has this ability. So basically, you can just turn this land into any land that you... doesn't even have to be one that you own. It can be just target lands. It could be your opponent's land. Maybe they've got something that you kind of like the look of. I can't think for any reason of what it could be, because I don't know, really. But it could be anything. Could be one of your own jewel lands, because technically speaking, I think pretty much all our lands aren't legendary. But you never know. You could have 2 command towers, I suppose, if you really need it. But it's just here because, 1, it's a pretty card, and 2, it can become any land that we want it to be. So it's there for when we're in a pinch. And then next up we have the Necroblossom Snarl. As this land enters, you can reveal a swamp or a forest card from your hand. If you don't, it enters tapped. So this is handy with the fact that we have so many basics. We've got at least 20 basics here. So potentially, this can come in untapped. I don't know what you would call this type of land. The ones where, like, you have to reveal a land type in your hand before you can get any use out of this. But, you know, taps for black and green. Does what it says on the tin. We're pretty satisfied with that. No complications. No complicated things going on here. And then our last land, we have the Woodland Cemetery, which I think this is going in alphabetical order here. So, there we go. Woodland Cemetery. Another cemetery, actually. We've got 2 cemeteries in this deck. The Strangled and the Woodland. It's kind of on brand, I think, for cemeteries to be black-green cards, I suppose. So, Woodland Cemetery. This land enters tapped unless you control a swamp or a forest, and it just taps for black and green. Simple enough, good stuff. We're pretty satisfied with that. So in total, that brings us to 33 lands. We're kind of edging along the lower end of land base. However, we do have other means of producing mana, and we also have means of doubling our mana. So the fact that we have a smaller land base isn't too much of an issue, actually. But we got the boring part of the deck out of the way. Now we're here for the actual, like, the meat and potatoes, I'll call it. Like, the actual meal. The meal of the deck here. We want the actual cards that are in the main deck, the ones that actually matter. So first up, we have a creature. Oh my goodness. We have Marwyn, the Nurturer. She is a legendary creature. She is an elf druid. Costs 2 colorless and a green. She is a 1/1. Whenever another elf you control enters, you put a +1/+1 counter on Marwyn. Easy enough. And then you can tap her, and you can add an amount of green mana equal to Marwyn's power. Now already, just this card alone, might be a bit of an indication as to how quickly this deck can potentially snowball. I played a game of Commander once. I had this card on the field. It was turn 5, right? Turn 5. Marwyn was at 20 power. Because I popped off and made a load of elves. We had so many elves on the board. It was insane. It was a good time. So she can pop off very quickly if she manages to stay on the board. And she can just fix all of our land issues for us. Doesn't matter if we don't have as many lands. We've got Marwyn. Marwyn is here to save the day. Fantastic. Love this card. Also, not so expensive for what it does, actually. So, we love that. And then we have a little sorcery here. We got a little sorcery here. We have Courage in Crisis. It's a sorcery, so you can only play this on your turn. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, then proliferate. We have a little bit of proliferate support in this deck to help us add more counters. And we've got many kinds of counters that we like to use in this deck. So, for example, we've got +1/+1 counters. We've also got -1/-1 counters. You also technically have loyalty counters from your planeswalkers, so that is also handy. If I remember right, I don't think we make poison counters in this deck. Which I think I'll need to maybe research a way if there's any elf stuff that makes poison counters or has infect. Could be very fun to add it in, but for now, I don't think we have access to that. But yeah, just a simple sorcery, good support, helps us with our counter shenanigans. Right, and then we have Moon Vigil Adherence. Now, this card was busted in pre-release for Lorwyn. The Lorwyn pre-release, I won most of my games because I pulled this card. It is insanely good for being an uncommon. It is kinda nuts. So, it is a 4 cost. It's 2 colorless and 2 green. It's a 0/0, which immediately you think, but Scribble, it's a 0/0. How is that any good? Well, let me show you. It has Trample, which is great. Not many elves, I feel like, have Trample, so immediately I like it. This creature gets +1/+1 for each creature you control and each creature in your graveyard. So, if we do manage to get a shit ton of elves on the board, then it's just, you know, great. And we don't even care if most of our creatures end up in the graveyard, because the adherents are going to get buffed anyway. So, very strong. Very, very strong. Oh, Tell Jalad Fallen, 2 colors, green and green. Phyrexian Elf Warrior, protection from artifacts and infect. Oh, okay, hold on. Let's have a little look at that. Obviously, we don't have that card right now, but I mainly just want to look to see There's a lot of Tiljalad. Tiljalad Fallen. Oh, I have never seen this card before. Protection from artifacts, infect. Huh, okay. I have no idea what set this is from. I don't know if it will tell me. Does it see? View details. What set are you from? Scars of Mirrodin. Never heard of this set. I'm assuming this is an older set because I have never heard of it. But good to know. Potentially could add this to the deck at some point if we feel like swapping out some of our 4 costs. But thank you for letting me know about that, Robert. Near where I started playing. Oh, cool. Fun stuff. We'll need to try and remember that and maybe see if we can pick up a copy. Could add it to the deck sometime. Could add it to the deck sometime. Right. Next up, we have Tribal Unity. Very good card, I feel like, for if you just have any kind of green tribal. This one is an X cost with 2 colorless and a green. Instant, so you can play at instant speed. Creatures of the type of your choice get +X/+X until end of turn. So you know how I mentioned how we can have a lot of mana very quickly? We can have a lot of elves also very quickly. So that issue I mentioned of like most of our elves most of the time are fairly low power. This is one of the cards that will help us boost that up, especially because pretty much nearly all of our deck are elves. Fun stuff. Fun stuff. Very fun spell. I also really like the artwork. It's very cool. I like the tiger on it. It's very neat. I also have, I think, is mine foil? I don't think it is. No, it's not. It's not foil. But still a cool looking card. I like it. Hi, Caesar. I'm doing good, thank you. Currently melting in the current heat wave, but we're coping. We're coping as best as we can. I hope you are doing well. I hope you are good. So next up, we have Beast Whisperer, which is actually a bit of a spenny card here. This is not the printing I've got, so let me change that. Switch printing. We have this one, actually. Ours is the 30th anniversary promo. So this card, again, it's a 4 cost. We have a lot of 4 costs here, I realize. We have 2 colorless and 2 green. Elf Druid creature. And then whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card. Very simple. It's a 2/3. Just means that we've got a bit of card draw behind us for playing all of our creatures. Me too. I'm very glad I don't have to go to work tomorrow. Same. I'm off tomorrow as well. I'm not working, so I am very glad because I am dying from the heat, and the thought of having to go back out and work in the heat, not fantastic. Not fantastic. So I hope we both enjoy our days off. Hopefully we manage to cool ourselves down a little bit. You're off too, Robert? Huzzah! Look at us go. Thursday off, gang. Okay, next up, we have Ivy Lane Denizen. Another 4 cost. I did not realize I had so many 4 cost elves in this deck. But they are 2/3. Elf Warrior. Whenever another green creature enters the battlefield under your control, puts a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Hey, gonna lurk today because things are always too much, but want to stop in to say hi. Well, thank you for stopping in to say hi, Skitter. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're coping with the heat. It is very warm. Please take care of yourself, and thank you for popping in for the lurk. Much appreciated. Thank you so much. And thank you for the lurk, Redeem. Welcome in.
Skitter Spray Edge just redeemed lurk.
Ah, thank you for the lurk. Thank you for the lurk. I am hot, feels like a pot. I swear it's a lot. I am studying, what a thought. Send help. Ah! I don't know if that was much of a rhyme at the end there, but you know what? It's poetry. Oh, thank you so much for the hydrate, Robert. Thank you. As a reminder to all of you to hydrate as well. Take care of yourselves, especially in this weather. It is warm. Out of curiosity, did you take a look at what I sent you? Did you send me another thing? Sorry, I've been a little bit scatty with my messages lately. If you have sent me something else, I apologize if I've not seen it. I will see if I can check it out tomorrow then. I would check it out after stream, but I'm probably going to go straight to sleep once I finish streaming, because I am very sleepy even after my nap. I had a very good nap after work. I was very tired. But my apologies if I've not seen that message. I will check it out tomorrow, if that is okay, Caesar. It's 45 where I am, and I'm dying. Oh no, please don't die, Skitter. It's stylistic medium. The A represents the infinite amount of pain I am in. Ah, I see. Aha, I see. It's okay. We're all in the shared pain together. I would suggest we hold hands and pray, but holding hands might actually be bad because I'm sure we're all very sweaty. We've got very sweaty hands. It might be hard to hold hands, so that would be a little bit of an issue. But let's see if we can take care of ourselves. Try and keep cool. What card did I add? Also, lurk, as I have trouble with the internet. Thank you very much for the lurk. Much appreciated, Caesar. Please take care of yourself. Be nice and chill. Take care. And thank you again for the lurk, and thank you for popping through. Okay, Ivy Lane Denizen. Again, this one. Green creatures are going to be popping off on the board fairly frequently. So, this is going to be good for us. We love to put +1/+1 counters on things. It's fantastic. Pretty much good. Solid creature. The breaking of the rhyme is also a stylistic medium, representing the disconnect between what I am able to do in the heat and what I want to achieve. Very valid. I would have played like a more, I would say intensive game. I would have played a more intensive game, but I just think my brain is too melted from the heat today. So, reading cards and organizing things just seems like a nice little way to unwind and still chat with you guys and interact and stuff. So, it's nice. And maybe you just want a little bit of background noise. Maybe you just want the dulcet tones of a Scottish moth keeping you company. Just like sometimes it's like a little bit of a form of parallel play. A little bit. You can pretend I'm in the room, and I'm in the corner just sorting my cards while you're doing something else. So in a sense, it's its own form of parallel play. It's nice. It's very nice. What is also very nice is this next card that I'm going to share with you guys. Ah, Nature's Lore. But even better, we have a fancy printing of this one. We have this one. We have this printing of Nature's Lore, which is a very cute card art with a bunch of little critters having a tea party. I love this card. I bought this secret lair on a whim. This was one of the secret lairs they put out where, for some reason, they listed like multiple different listings with like varying different prices. So they had it in like, you could buy the secret lair for like £20 or like £30, but like it was the same printing. It was just they had it at different price tiers. I don't know if it was them testing it, if they could like deal with bots or something buying out all the stock or something like that. But I bet, and I managed to get the secret lair for like 20 quid, £20. Not too bad. Hey, at least it's just cards, not text about ethical questions and special education, the word disability. True that. Less complicated discussions here. But this card is very pretty. I like the artwork, it's very fancy. But what does the card do, you ask? Well, it costs 2, it's 1 colourless and 1 green. And we search our library for a forest card, put that card onto the battlefield, and then shuffle. So it's just ramp. It's just basic ramp. But for green decks, you know, you love a bit of ramp. You love to see it. You love to see a little bit of ramp. I think we still have like a couple other pieces of ramp, which is good considering we've got like 20 lands to find that are at least basics. Okay, and next up we have a little bit more tribal. Patchwork Banner. 'Tis the Banner. This is an artifact, our first artifact for the deck. It is 3 colourless. As this artifact enters, we choose a creature type. We will obviously be picking elves. And then creatures you control of the chosen type get +1/+1. So again, like I mentioned before, a lot of our elves aren't like, in theory, base strong. So we like to add all these little buffs here and there that can like bolster our forces. Get them a little bit stronger. This is also a mana rock as well. It can tap for any colour. So it's also a little bit of a colour fixer. A little bit of a mana rock. We love to see it, you know. Plus, it's cute. I like the idea of, like, this cute little patchwork banner made by the elves. There's a little bit of a story there. A little bit of a story. We like a story. We also have another... I think this card has gone up actually because of certain leaks that have happened recently. So I have the Miku version. The Miku version, the non-foil one, which I have, is sitting at like nearly $35, which is nuts. I think specifically this one went up because of the Secret Lair deck leaks, where it got leaked that they're going to be making a Hatsune Miku deck, and it is white-green. So I think that's the reason mainly why this card spiked. It is also just a nice-looking card. It is a very nice artwork. I love the Sakura Miku. I love Cherry Blossom Miku. She's one of my favorites. Very simple. She's just 1 green, elf, taps for green. Again, she's a mana dork. She is a 1/1 elf. You could easily play this turn 1 as long as you've got a land that doesn't enter tapped. And we were starting the game with 2 mana. Simple as, nothing too complicated. Just a lovely, lovely little bit of rampage for the game. But next up, we have a very fun card. We have this guy. Guy, girl, not too sure. But we have this elf here. Lathril, Blade of the Elves. Very fun card. This could technically be an alternate commander for this deck. Technically. But Morcant is the commander because the focus is on flooding the field with elves in order to get the blight effect. So technically speaking, this could be the alternate commander. But it's not. This would probably be the commander before Morcant got printed. Because Lathril is still a pretty good commander, despite that. They are 2/3, Elf Noble, with Menace, which means your opponent needs at least 2 creatures to block him. So they can't block with only 1 creature, they need at least 2, which is fantastic. Whenever Lathril deals combat damage to a player, create that many 1/1 green elf warrior creature tokens. So there's a little bit of token generation for us there. We've finally seen some of it. And given that we have ways of buffing our elves, we can make him very strong. So 9 times out of 10, when he's swinging, he's not going to be dealing a measly 2 damage. He's probably going to be a little bit stronger. He also has a second ability where we can tap him and tap 10 untapped elves we control, and each opponent loses 10 life, and you gain 10 life. So you know how I said we've got ways of getting life back in this deck? Lathril is one of the main ways we can get life back. Especially because we can make so many elves. So while Morcant can tap elves to proliferate, Lathril can tap elves in order to drain our opponents, and we gain some. So you've got like a little bit of Ortsov, I suppose you could say, with the life gain, life drain. But very good card. I like it. Again, from Foundations, not that expensive a card actually. Very surprised. It's still relatively cheap for being a pretty insane black-green elf. Okay, next up we have Dwinnen's Elite. This is not the artwork I have, so let me swap this over. We have this one, which also I think is a reprint from Foundations. So this one is a 2 cost, so a bit cheaper. Got 1 colorless and 1 green. Elf Warrior. When this creature enters, if you control another elf, create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token. 2/2. Nothing too complicated here. It's just another elf entering for cheap, and it makes another elf when it comes in. So perfect for Morcant and her blighting ability. We love to see it. We love to see all the elves pop off. That is the goal. Ooh, actually, this next card. This next card is not an elf, actually. This is one of the very few non-elves in the deck. But this is also a recent acquisition of mine. I picked this card up when I was at UK Games Expo, actually. We have Witherbloom, the Balancer. It's a dragon! It's a big dragon! A very expensive dragon. This costs 8 to play. It's 6 colorless, black and a green. So a bit of a chonky cost here for our big boy Witherbloom. However, we have something to fix that, for he has affinity for creatures. What does affinity for creatures mean? Well, this spell costs 1 colorless less to cast for each creature you control. So ideally, in the ideal scenario, we have a board full of elves. We maybe at least have 6 elves, which means we can play Witherbloom for only 2 mana. That's in an ideal world. In an ideal world, we have at least 6 elves on the board. He comes in for only 2. He has Flying and Death Touch, which, considering there are not a lot of elves in this deck that can either fly or have reach. So having a flyer is very good to deal with other decks who either maybe focus on flying or they just have like a really annoying flyer. I tend to find that a lot of people, at least recently, when I play Commander, their Commander specifically has flying, which is a bit of a pain because that means we're always taking the Commander damage. But he also says, instant and sorcery spells you cast have affinity for creatures. So you know all those fun kind of like sorceries and instants and stuff that we've got here? Yeah, they also have affinity for creatures. So their cost reduction is also for how many creatures we have on the field, which is nice. And you know, having a big 5/5 chunky flyer, very cool. He doesn't really get many of our buffs because most of our buffs specifically are for the elves. I think we have maybe 1 or 2 buffs where it's specifically for like green creatures or just creatures you control. But for the most part, he is more than likely staying a 5/5, which is fine. A 5/5 Death Touch flyer is all right in my opinion. It's not too bad. Not too bad. Next up, we have a little bit of landfall support here. We have Evolution Sage. So this one is a 3 costs, 2 colors, and a green. Elf Druid. You find that a lot of things are either Elf Warriors or Elf Druids, actually. Landfall. So, whenever a land we control enters, we proliferate. Remember I mentioned proliferate before? Proliferate is great. We love it. So anytime that we get a land in, we can get more of our funky little counters that we love. We can get more +1/+1. Give out some more -1/-1. It's fantastic all around. It's a 3/2. Not too bad. I find that a lot of these elves are either 2/3s or 3/2s. And then you just have a whole plethora of them that are just 1/1s. But it's all good. It's all good. They're all hanging out. It's an elf party here. It's a little elf party. Okay, now this one is going to take some explaining, actually. I also need to change the printing, because that's not the one that we have. I do believe the one I have here is this one from Battle Bond. It's definitely not the Secret Lair one. So we have a Generous Patron. It is a 3 cost. It is 2 colorless and a green. Elf Advisor. I don't know if there's many advisors in Magic. I don't think there's enough for its own creature type, but it's an advisor. When Generous Patron enters the battlefield, support 2. And support 2 is put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 other target creatures. So we could either put +1/+1 on 2 creatures, or we could put the 2 1/1 counters on a single creature. That's also a possibility. The second effect is the one where you really need to pay attention because wording, again, is important. So it says, whenever you put 1 or more counters on a creature you don't control, draw a card. Which, in theory, you would think, oh man, this is amazing for Morcant. Morcant's all about putting those -1/-1 counters on your opponent's stuff. Does not work for Blight. So, because of the wording of it, Blight specifically makes your opponent put the -1/- counter on their creature. So it's not you yourself who is putting the counter on it. So technically speaking, we cannot use this ability for blighting. We can use this ability if it was a -1/-1 counter that we put on without the use of blight. So as long as the counter wasn't a blight counter and we put a counter on something through our own means, this effect works. I do debate whether or not I actually want to take this card out of the deck and swap it for something else. Just because when I originally got the card, I thought it worked for Blight. And then afterwards I was told, actually no, because of the wording, that's not how that works. I was like, ah, dang it. That would have been immensely good if that was the case. It would have been insanely broken. But, nah, not so much. Not so much. So I might end up taking this card out. For now, I'm keeping it in the deck just because it's nice to have the support. And maybe the very rare occasion where we maybe manage to put a counter on an opponent's card. That's not Blight. But for now, it's here. Might change it out at some point for something else. Oh, but we have another fancy Nancy Secret Lair card here. We have Wood Elves. But we have a fancy Nancy version. We have this one. Not as expensive as some of our other Secret Lair cards. But that's okay, we don't mind. This card is a little bit hard to read with this printing. So I will accept if you cannot read this card because of the way that it is printed. However, I will so kindly read it out for you. When this creature enters, search your library for a forest card. Put that card onto the battlefield, then shuffle. So it's another land ramp essentially, but in the form of a creature. It's only a 1/1 creature. It is like 2 colorless and a green, but the fact that it searches us out a land, specifically a forest, which we love our forests here. Forests are great. It's a decent card, and you know what? It's a very pretty artwork. So even if, you know, it's not going to attack for very much, I just like that it's going to sit on the field and look very pretty. It's going to look very nice. It's very, very nice. Ooh. We have a Planeswalker. Our first Planeswalker of the deck, actually. Okay, so fun fact when I deck build, I feel like I overstuff decks with Planeswalkers, but that's mainly because I really like Planeswalkers mechanically, and I find it hard to cut them down sometimes. Like, I want to say there's maybe at least 4 or 5 Planeswalkers in this deck, but that's just because you're very rarely going to have all of them out at the same time. So I feel like I want to try and, like, increase the chance that I get a Planeswalker in my hand at some point. Doesn't particularly matter which one it is. I'd like to at least have one of them in play at some point. But this Planeswalker that we have is a Vivian. It is Vivian of the Arcbow. A very, very nice card. It's very, very pretty. I love the artwork. She's very nice. Vivian. A 6-cost Planeswalker. So 4 colorless and 2 green. So again, one of our more land expensive or mana expensive cards. She starts off with 5 loyalty counters. Her +2 is that we put 2 1/1 counters on up to 1 target creature. So again, some counters there. Her -3 is target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. So it's very much, if we manage to get one of our creatures very strong, we can use this to just, you know, fight something without actually having to fight something in a very protected manner. And then we have -9. Creatures you control get +4/+4 and gain trample until end of turn. So this is one of our other ways of getting a big buff for all of our elves. And trample is very nice because I think not too many creatures in our deck here have trample. So when we do manage to buff them up, we can deal that excess damage even if our opponent blocks. So a very fun time there. A very fun time. Probably, I think, maybe one of the weaker Planeswalkers we have in the deck, but I also just like it for flavor. I think it's very nice. I like it. Then we have Morcant's Loyalist. I really like this artwork. Actually, fun fact, I was really disappointed when I found out that Morcant herself didn't have any fancy treatment or, like, any nice alt arts from the set. Like, I would have loved if she had an alt art, like, in this similar style where it's, like, very, like, fairy tale, like, storytelling, picturesque artwork. I was so sad when I realized she didn't have an alternate art. I mean, I get it, she's only a rare, but still. Like, this isn't uncommon, and it's got, like, a very nice artwork treatment. So it is 3 cost. It's a colorless black and a green elf warrior. Other elves you control get +1/+1, so there's another one of those blanket buffs for all our elves. And when this creature dies, return another target elf card from your graveyard to your hand. Nice little bit of graveyard recursion there. Bringing our elves back from the dead when this one dies, because he's so loyal to Morcant. And he's 3-2. So, kind of keeping with the trend here of most of our elves being either 2/3s or 3/2s. Oh, we've got another Nature's card, but this time it's not Nature's Lore, it is Nature's Claim. And where did it go? It's down here. This is not the artwork that we have, this is the Final Fantasy artwork. We just have, I think it is this one. Yes, it's this one. Where did you go? I've lost you already. Nature's Claim, there it is. Again, just very simple, 1 cost instant. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Its controller gains 4 life. We need some form of enchantment removal specifically, because there are a lot of pesky enchantments out there that sometimes we just need to say, you know what, you gotta go. You gotta get out of here. We don't want you here. We don't want you at our party. Please vacate the premises. Okie doke. And then another little elf. Oh look, it's another 4-cost elf. Imagine that. This is Sylvan Messenger. It's a 2/2, so slightly bucking the trend here. But it's got trample. Remember we said not too many of our elves have trample, but luckily this is one of the ones that does. I find it weird that this one has trample because it is only a 2/2. So it's like, how much excess are you really going to do, buddy? However, when Sylvan Messenger enters the battlefield, you can reveal the top 4 cards of your library, put all elf cards revealed this way into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. So this is, I guess you could call it elf ramping. It's a good way of us kind of like going through our deck and trying to get as many elves as possible into our hand. If we are lucky, we hit 4, and we've got 4 elves to play with. And if we're not lucky, then I guess we've managed to do a little bit of rearranging of the cards and potentially get some good elves into our hand. Sorry, just wanted a little sip there. Still so warm. Okie doke. We have Airship Crash. Which, yep, there it is there. This one is also a Final Fantasy card. Again, a fairly simple removal spell. It is 3 costs. It's 2 colorless and green. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying. I don't think I've ever used the cycling effect. I tend to ignore that, to be honest. I don't think I've ever willingly used a cycling effect on a card. It's always just been, oh, look, it's got more text. I don't care. But this is mainly for the enchantment removal, potentially also with the flying removal, but mainly it's there for enchantment removal because there's some nasty enchantments out there, and we need to deal with them. Okay, so another expensive card for the deck. As you can see here, we're like, how many cards in? We're 55 cards into the main deck, and according to this, we're nearly at $200 for the price of the deck. Bear in mind, I didn't like buy all these cards at once. This has just been slowly over time. I've been gathering these cards and upgrading the deck over time. So it's not like I outright spent this much all at once. This was just a gradual acclimation of things. I love nasty enchantments. I know you do, Robert. I know you love nasty enchantments. Just like how I love this nasty bird. It's Maha. Maha. A lovely mythic from Bloomborough, actually. A very lovely set. I really like that setting. I hope maybe in the future we return to Bloomborough as a setting. I don't know if we will, because I don't think it really had anything to do with the overarching plot of the Magic storyline. But I like the fact that we went to a world where it was literally just all little animals, and it was very Redwall inspired. Very nice. But what does Maha do? Well, Maha is a 5 cost. She costs 3 colorless and 2 black. And it is a flying trampler I know I regret trading that nasty beast. This nasty beast is all mine now. Mwahahaha. Evil times. Evil. She has... I don't know why I could say she. I think it's a they. But I always look at Maha and I think, that's a pretty lady. Oh. 1 hour of comfy and relaxing songs. Hold the phone. Let me turn this down slightly. That took me by surprise. There we go. Might be a bit quiet on your end. I'll maybe turn it up slightly. There we go. I'm going to turn it down for me a little bit so it didn't take me by surprise. Wah. So it's got ward, discard a card. So you cannot target this creature with a spell ability unless you discard a card. So that's the payment for getting to interact with this card. Creatures your opponents control have base toughness 1. Now, why is this in the deck? It's because with our handy-dandy blight counters, this could easily board wipe. So if we manage to get a bunch of -1/-1 counters on things, and we get Maha out, all of their toughness becomes 1, and if they still have that -1/-1 counter on it, they are dead. They are deceased. They are gone. They are finito. Out of the way. It also happens that, like, Maha herself is a 6/5, so a very big flyer. I did have a funny game, actually, where I was playing against my friend Gary, and he was playing the precon from Lorwyn, which is also the Blight precon, but I'm pretty sure that one is black, green, red? It's a 3-color one. And he also had Maha, and we both had Maha out at the same time, which was quite funny. So that was quite hilarious. So yeah, pretty much another one of the kind of non-elves that are very important for this deck. Just mainly as like a... I wouldn't call it a finisher, but it is very close to it being a finisher. It's like we get this on the board. If it manages to stick around, our opponents just hate us. They just don't like us. We're the problem. We are the threat. They are not happy with us. They are not happy with us in the slightest. Do 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 do. I don't know if I like this music that's playing in the background, but it's fine for now. Or actually, let's go with Bug. I like Bug. Put it back to start. There we go. Bug music. Very nice. Where did it go? Ah, there we go. A Virulent Emissary. A very cheap card. It's only 1 green. It is a 1/1. It's got Death Touch. And whenever another creature you control enters, you gain a life. So a little bit of life gain for us. As I mentioned before, we do have access to life gain. Mostly it's tied to our creatures. Fun fact. Maha plus Elish Norn equals bye-bye. Yeah, pretty much. The nasty duo of Maha Elish Norn. Just slaying everybody in sight. I heard something out in the hallway. But, yeah, pretty much not much else to say about this card. It is a 1/1. One of our more cheaper cards. One of our weaker cards. But the Death Touch is very nice. And that little bit of life gain, we do appreciate putting in the work there. In the grand scheme of things, putting in the work. Elish always slays. Exactly. They slay away and sashay away. Next up, we have another black creature here. We have Nadir's, or Nadir's? Nadirs? I want to say Nadir's. Nadir's Nightblade. A 3-cost, 2 colors, and a black. Elf Warrior, a 1/3. So a little bit on the weaker side here. We've only got 1 power here. But whenever a token you control leaves the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life. So if they're like dealing with all our tokens, they're blocking them, they're killing them, and whatever, we are giving them a little bit of punishment with that. But yeah, pretty much, because, you know, we're going to be spamming the board with tokens more than likely. So it's just nice to have that little bit of a safety net in terms of, well, even if we lose the tokens, we still get some kind of benefit from it anyway. So it's like, I get benefits from them being on the board, I get benefits from them dying. So it's a nice little turnaround for us. We have ourselves the Eclipsed Elf. This one's fun in that it's 3, but it could be 3 black, it could be 3 green, you can mix and match. So this one is very nice for just being able to kind of work around what mana base you've got. It is a 3/2 Elf Scout. When this creature enters, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an elf, swamp, or forest card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So this is another bit of filtering, a little bit of searching. This one is situational. It can help us in regards to whether we want a creature or whether we badly want a land. And considering we've got like 20 basic lands, we are more than likely going to hit one. And more than likely we will hit an elf. I think there's only a couple of times where I've had this card out and I've completely whiffed. Like I've just not gotten any of the 3 things I could be searching for. So it doesn't happen a lot. I don't know if I could say it's happened at least twice, but it doesn't happen fairly often. We've usually managed to hit something with it. Now we have another fun little instant. We have Blight Rot. This is a 3 cost, it's 2 colors to black. Very, very simple. Put 4 -1/-1 counters on target creature. So this is actually a card that does work with Generous Patron, because we are the ones putting the counters on the creature. So this is like not quite Blight, despite the fact it's called Blight Rot. But that's a way of getting around it. And it's a nice little bit of debuffing for our opponent there. Just like, oh, you think your thing is very big? Psych! It is no longer very big. It is now small guy. Next we have Cultivate. Again, very simple sorcery. 3 costs, 2 colors and a green. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Reveal them, put 1 on the battlefield tapped and the other into our hand, then shuffle. We love ourselves a little bit of ramp. We love some rampage, especially in green. And this one gets us 2 lands, as opposed to just 1. This is not the printing I have. Let me double check if I can find the one I've got. I do believe the one I've got is... Where is it? It's not the Fallout one. It's this one. I don't think it's specifically this one. Is there a different artwork, maybe? Gosh, how many times have they reprinted Cultivate? A lot by the looks of it. I don't even know which printing is technically mine. I just know which artwork I've got. Yeah, I guess that's the one I've got. It's that one. This one. So yeah, pretty simple. Oh, next one. We have another Secret Lair card, actually. Soul Ring. But I will show you which Soul Ring I actually have for this deck. We have... If I can find it. Not the Deadpool one. We have... Not the Furby one. Where is it? It is... This one! Oh my god, this one's sitting at like 57... Nearly 58 pound. And I think that's for the non-foil. The foil one is like nearly 60. I think it's in nearly every set in some way. I've got the Codex version, it's very cool. Ooh, very nice. So yeah, we have Hatsune Miku's Soul Ring, who for some reason is very, very expensive. She's stupidly expensive, actually. But yeah, a very simple artifact. It's a 1 cost. Tap it, create 2 colorless mana. I can't think of any commander deck that does not have a Soul Ring. If you can show me a commander deck that does not have Soul Ring, I'd be very surprised. I would maybe eat my hat. Because it's like, why would you not put Soul Ring in a commander deck? It feels like it's just a given. It is just a given at that point, and if you don't put it in your deck, I'm going to have words with you and ask if you're doing okay. I'm going to ask if you're feeling alright. Do you need a drink of water? Okie doke. Next, we have... Ooh, where'd my creatures go? They're up here. Gala Greeters. A very nice looking card. I quite like... I've got the foil version of this, and it's very, very pretty. It is a very pretty card. So this one costs 2. It is a colorless and a green. Elf Druid. It has the ability Alliance. So, whenever another creature enters the battlefield under under our control. We choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. We put a 1/1 counter on Gala Greeters. We can create a tapped treasure token. Or we gain 2 life. So considering that we usually have a lot of creatures entering the battlefield, either through token generation or just managing to play our very cheap elves, more than likely we can get this to pop off a couple of times. It's very situational which one we end up picking. 9 times out of 10, I will probably put a 1/1 counter on the Gala Greeters. I would maybe only pick the treasure one, if I feel like we definitely need access to more mana. Life gain is also just handy in a pinch. Like, if we feel like we definitely need a little bit more of a buffer to help us out, then that's very handy to have. Also, I've just looked at how much the deck has gone up now. We are at 62 cards, and it says it's worth about $260-ish. Don't know what that is in pounds, but this is probably one of my more expensive decks, mayhaps. It helps if I can type this next word. Gladeheart Cavalry. Yes, this is the printing I've got. So this one, again, one of our more expensive creatures. This one is 7. Costs 5 colorless and 2 green. It is a 6/6 though, so it is a pretty chunky creature. It's pretty chunky. When Gladeheart Cavalry enters the battlefield, we support 6. So we can do the +1/+1 counter thing on up to 6 creatures, which is a very nice buff. And then whenever a creature you control with a 1/1 counter on it dies, you gain 2 life. So we have so many ways of getting counters on our own creatures. So ideally, 9 times out of 10, I'd rather our creatures not die. I would like them to stay on the board and just hang out. But we have a little bit of life insurance, so to speak, if they do end up dying. Plus, this is just a nice, big, chunky creature, which, if we have access to all that lovely lots of mana that we will end up making, then we should hopefully be able to cast this no problem. Now, next creature we have is the Huntmaster. I also really like this artwork. I'm not quite sure what the set it's from. It says C14, I think, on my... Or, does it say C14 on my card? I think it does. Yeah. Not too sure what set this is, but I really like the art style. It is very nice. Another 4-cost one. A lot of these elves that we have are either, like, 1 or 4, I realise. 2 colorless and 2 green. Whenever you cast an elf spell, you may put a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token onto the battlefield. Token generation, absolutely fabulous. Anytime we cast an elf, very nice. Specifically when we cast an elf, not when we make a token. There's a difference. But very good. Very good for us whenever we play an elf. Counts for our commander as well, so even if we just recast our commander, this pops off. And then obviously more elves enter, which means our commander triggers, which is very fun times for us. We love to see it. Now, this one is one of the many Vraskas that exist. But we have this one. Another Planeswalker. This one, I feel like this could be a Planeswalker I could technically cut from the deck. I am mainly using this Planeswalker specifically for the Proliferate ability. That's the main reason why she's here, and also because she's cool looking. But we have Vraska, Betrayal Sting. She is 4 colorless, a black, and then I'm pretty sure that last mana symbol is... I think you can pay it with life, or you can pay it with black mana, if I remember correctly. I never remember what the cost for, like, Phyrexian mana is. But I'm pretty sure we can pay, I think it's either a life or 2 life, or something like that, for it. And then, or either, like, black, I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. Robert might correct me. Yeah, 2 life or a pip. Yeah, pretty much. But yes, so, she starts with 6 loyalty counters. Her 0 cost is we draw a card, lose a life, proliferate. We love to proliferate. It's very fun here. We have a -2, which is target creature becomes a treasure artifact. So just any creature becomes an artifact. So we could also target our opponent's stuff with that, which is very fun. And then the -9 is if target player has fewer than 9 poison counters, they get a number of poison counters equal to the difference. This is where I think we definitely need to try and add some form of infect or poison. Just so we can get use out of this last ability here. I don't remember off the top of my head if we do have any means of infect, but thankfully, Robert showed us a lovely little elf that does have infect, so potentially we could add that. Very possibly, I might swap out that for, like, take out the generous patron and put the infect one in if I manage to find it. I'm fairly certain I could probably find it for fairly cheap online, but we shall have a gander at some point and see if we can find it. Or I could end up finding it in like a bulk bin somewhere. I do really need to go to like a store sometime and just like have an afternoon where I go through all their bulk, because you'd be surprised how like what you can find in bulk, especially for me who started Magic fairly recently. Like I've been playing for like maybe 2-3 years. I've been playing since what was the set I started on? I'm pretty sure I technically started on Wilds of Eldraine. It was either Wilds of Eldraine or it was the Lord of the Rings set I started on. So I'm like not been playing too long in the grand scheme of things. But you know what? Sometimes I want to have a look for older cards, so I do need to probably take a time to just go to a store, pull up a chair, go through some bulk for like an hour or two and just see what I can find, because I could probably find some very fun things. Right, I am actually, guys, I'm gonna be right back very quickly. I'm going to just quickly nip to the bathroom and grab myself another drink while I'm up, because I've been chugging my drink because it's so warm in here. So my apologies. I will be right back. Use this time to grab yourselves a drink, and I will be back momentarily. So 2 wee seconds, guys. Let me mute myself for one moment. Wah! I'm back. We are back. I hope you're good. I hope you've managed to get yourself a drink. I have another refreshment. Thankfully. There we go. Right. Moth. It's a Moth run? Oh my goodness. Moth run. You know what? I feel like there needs to be more Moth cards in Magic. We need more Moths. Give me a Moth set, Magic. Give it to me. I need more Moths. Right. Next up, we have another nice looking Secret Lair card. We have... It's this one. However, we have a very nice printing of it. We've got this one. We've got this one, which if you look at it, it is kind of hard to read. So let me do my best to explain to you what this card does, because the artwork is so funky, it makes it a little bit tricky, okay? So, hold your horses. I will get right to it. So this is Sky Shroud Claim. It is 4 cost, it's 3 and a green, it's a sorcery. Search your library for up to 2 forest cards, put them onto the battlefield, then shuffle. Thankfully, they come in untapped, and it's just a nice bit of ramp. You'll notice that we have a fair bit of ramp among our spells, and in our creatures. That's because we want to get as much mana out as possible to play all our funky elves, to play all our funny cards. And it's green, so if you're a green deck and you don't have any form of ramp, are you even playing the green card or the green deck properly? Simple as that. Nothing else to say. Right. We have... Ooh, I don't know if this is our first enchantment. It might be. Is it our first enchantment? Yes, it is, actually. We have Mana Reflection. You know how I was talking about how we love mana in this deck? We love to get ourselves all them forests, all them swamps. Well, here you go. Mana Reflection. 6 cost is 4 colorless and 2 green. If you tap a permanent for mana, it produces twice as much of that mana instead. So it's basically doubling any mana that we produce by tapping something. So that counts for our lands, that counts for our mana dorks, that counts for our mana rocks. Just double it. Just double. Fun times. I think to be fair, I've had this card a little while now. I've only managed to play it in a game maybe once. Because I think the only other time I have managed to get this on the board, it got immediately blown up. So yeah, people not fan of this card, and I haven't managed to play it very often, but I like it. I also like it for the artwork, it is very pretty. Oh, and in a similar vein to that one, we have another enchantment here, actually. Oh, this deck and Vorniclex would be funny. I know he's not an elf, but it would be scary. Yeah, like, I feel like if I put a Vorniclex in this deck, right? I've not, like, reviewed what bracket this deck would be in, technically, right? Because brackets confuse me, and I would probably have to give this deck list to someone else to be like, can you tell me what bracket this is? I don't have the brain power to figure it out. Or maybe, I don't know, Robert, I don't know if you're any good at figuring out bracket levels for commander decks. I feel like a Vorniclex would push this up to, like, a silly, scary degree. But I don't know what currently this deck bracket-wise would be. But yeah, a Vorniclex would make this super scary. Probably would make me get put out even quicker, actually, if I had a Vorniclex on the board. But we have Hardened Scales. This is not the printing I have, though, so let's change that up. I think it's this one I have. Is it... What printing do I have? It is... This one? No. That's Lost Caverns of Ixalan. That is not the one that I've got. Where is it? Is it this one? No, it is... This one. This is the printing I've got, specifically. Well, we've seen what happens when I play 2 of them. I know, right? You're not allowed to have Vorniclex. Vorniclex too scary. We have Hardened Scales. It's only a 1 cost enchantment. If 1 or more +1/+1 counters would be placed on a creature you control, that many +1/+1/+1 counters are placed on it instead. So essentially, like, say you're putting on 1 counter, you're actually putting on 2. If you're putting on 2 counters, you're actually putting on 3. Fairly simple, very standard. The fact that this only costs 1 is insane to me. It's not as powerful an effect, obviously, as you would think, but it does just nicely buff alongside all of our counter shenanigans. So that's why I've put it pride in place in this list. Fun fact, as I was saying, I favor planeswalkers quite a lot. I also favor enchantments quite a lot. So whenever I build decks, you will find that I've probably put in far too many enchantments for my own good. I could probably put in like more spells, but I'm just like, nah, give me them enchantments. Give me those enchantments. I love enchantments. It's a shame it only works with plus counters. Doubling Season, however, yeah. Ironically, I do own a copy of Doubling Season, but Doubling Season is not in this deck. Doubling Season is in my cat dog deck. I think I probably like, if I really wanted this deck to go nuts, I would put Doubling Season in it. But I like the idea of having Doubling Season in my cat dog deck, so that's why it stays in there. And I know I could technically proxy it, because like, I already own the card. It shouldn't be too much of a complaint for me to proxy the card, so I don't have to have a second copy of the card I already own. But at that point, I'm just like, no. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I might at some point. I mean, I own the card, so I feel like it's not that bad if I own the card and I'm making a proxy of it, just because I don't want to take it out of another deck that I've got it in. We have another Secret Lair card here. Pride of the Perfect, which I believe, yeah, this one is technically a reprint, but I don't have that version. I have the Shadowheart version from the Shadowheart Secret Lair. I am wondering, because so far we've gotten an Astarion, Karlach, Gale, and Shadowheart Secret Lairs for Baldur's Gate. I don't know if they'll bother making Secret Lairs for Lae'zel and Will, because I feel like those two didn't get as many cards specifically for them. I think it would be cool if we did get Secret Lairs for them. I don't know if they would be as popular. I would buy a Will Secret Lair, just because I like Will. Don't know if I would buy a Lae'zel one. Lae'zel's cool, though. Actually, I have, like, all my Baldur's Gate Funko Pops, like, sitting on my computer desk. They sit underneath my screens, actually. But this one, Pride of the Perfect. It's a 4 cost, it's 3 colorless and a black. Elves you control get +2 power. That's it, that's all it does. It's just a nice little power buff for our little elves. And also, I feel like it's on brand because Shadowheart is a half-elf. So, she's here, it's a very pretty card, I like it. And not much more to say other than that. Okay, we have Drown in Ichor. In the Ichor. This one is a sorcery. 2 is a colorless and a black. Target creature gets -4/-4 until end of turn, then proliferate. Like I said before, we love proliferate here at the Scribble Sketch Show channel. We love to get those counters up and up and up. And this is another way for us to put counters on things of our opponents, which technically isn't blighting. But we still basically get the blight effect. -1/-1 counters matter. That's the gist of it. If we ever have a theme for this deck, it is elf. It is counters. We love them -1/-1 counters. Okay, fairly standard inclusion. Arcane Signet, not the printing I have. I think I have the box standard printing. For Arcane Signet, which is... Where you at? Where you at? There we go. Boop. Yep, another mana rock. Nothing too complicated. Costs 2 colorless. Add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. It is basically a command tower, but you pay for it. Nothing else really to say there. Oh, another Miku card, actually. We have another Miku card. Harmonize. Where'd you go? Harmonize, but we have the Miku one, so it's better. Where did it go? There it is. I don't know what the difference between these two are. This one is just the foil for some reason. We'll pick that one. Because mine is the non-foil one. Again, fairly simple sorcery card. It is 4 cost, 2 colorless, 2 green, draw 3 cards. I mainly put this in here because I have a bunch of Miku cards in this deck already, and I just wanted to put in another Miku card. I mean, who doesn't love card draw? Card draw, great. We love card draw over here. Give me all the card draw, please. Well, we have ourselves another card that is a favorite of mine. If I have a black deck that has any form of kind of like life gain, life drain, it's going in. We have Exsanguinate. X cost and then 2 black. Each opponent loses X life. You gain life equal to the life lost this way. So this is very good for us in the fact that we, 9 times out of 10, have a lot of mana to play with. We have a lot of mana because usually we have our lands out. They could tap for double. We have a lot of mana dorks. We have many ways to make mana. So potentially we could sink a lot into that X cost. As long as it doesn't get countered, that's the only bad thing. It's a sorcery, it could get countered. But not much else to say other than that, really. Ooh, actually, this next card I am excited about because I picked this up while I was at pre-release the other weekend there. This was in the trade binder, and I've been looking for this card for quite a while now, actually. It's quite an expensive card, considering. I've been looking for this online for a while, but I could not find one specifically in the UK that was in English. I don't know why. Everywhere I was looking, I could not find it unless it was like stupid expensive. And yes, I paid less than what it's currently listed here. So I paid a bit less than that. It was still a little bit pricey, to be fair, for a single card. But hey ho. We have Wolverine Riders. It is a 6 cost, so it's another one of our kind of big mana cards. So this one is an elf warrior. At the beginning of each upkeep, create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token. And whenever another elf enters the battlefield under your control, you gain life equal to its toughness. Now notice how it says each upkeep. This does not mean it is only your upkeep. This is for every player's upkeep. So in one turn rotation, if you've got 4, if like you're in a pod of 4, you're making 4 of these guys. And you're also gonna be gaining a lot of life. Like, yeah, sure, when you're getting the little 1/1 warriors, you're only gaining like 1 toughness or whatever. But this is stupid good. This is another great way for us to flood the board with a lot of elves. Which is probably why this is a very expensive card. Oh, hold on, I need to take a little stretch. Hold on, let's see. Stretchy my leggies. And have a little sip. So yeah, I was very excited to see this card in the trade binder. Or in the store binder, sorry, for the store I was at. Which, if I've not mentioned it before, Merchants Guild in Glasgow. Not sponsored, but very, very lovely place to go if you want to play Magic. Very lovely spot. They've started doing food now, actually. I highly recommend the chicken strips. Chicken strips were very, very tasty. Oh, sorry, I'm taking a little break from reading cards for a moment. Rest my little eyes here. But honestly, this weather has been absolutely nuts. It's been crazy. Whew, sorry. I'm like taking a moment because I am taking a little bit of a flush. A little bit of a flushing. But, oof, there we go. But yeah, so far, we are at 74 cards for this main deck, and we are at like $331. That is kind of crazy. Oh, hold on a wee minute. I've got a little message here. 2v6, guys, till I have a little look at this. Let me see. Okie dokie. Okay, that looks good. Don't mind me, guys. My apologies. Just need to respond to this post-haste. Or fairly swift, really. Have I looked into Devoted Druid? I haven't actually. Hold on, let's have a look here. Devoted Druid. What does that card do, Robert? Where is it? This one. It's a 2-cost elf tap for 1. Put a -1/-1 on this creature, untap this creature. It's okay, I guess. I don't know if I like... I mean, it's a 2-cost mana dork. It's a 0/2. It can die very easily just to untap it. I don't know if I like that too much. Not sure if I'm a fan. Because we have Miku. I'm pretty sure Llanowar elves. Then get Dionysus. I think Dionysus is in this deck. Let me double check. I don't remember off the top of my head. Literally, he is like 2 cards down in my list. Yeah, we have Dionysus. Whenever this creature becomes tapped. Yeah. I mean, fair. It's alright. Not sure if I would put it in. But it is another mana dork elf. So it is useful. It is useful. Don't know how useful. Could be useful. I've got an elf list on the go here. Have you just looked up like any green or black elf and you're just going through it being like, this could go in the deck. This could go in the deck. Maybe, yeah, maybe. To be fair, I did do that initially when I was also building the deck. I was like, okay, I'm building green-black elves. What are some elves I could put in here? And that's how I've managed to get, like, some of these, like, slightly older elves that are, like, a little bit... I don't know if the word is obvious, but, like, not ones I immediately think of when I think of an elf card, to be fair. But yeah, I'm thinking, like, to be fair, I don't know if I'm going to be getting many upgrades for this deck, like, in recent sets. We might end up getting more elf cards with the Hobbit set coming out, so there could potentially be more elf support, because obviously the Hobbit has elves. So potentially we could get elf support there. So there's a possibility of having some more fun elf cards. Abomination of Llanowar? Let's have a look. Abomination of Llanowar. Elf Horror. Ooh, that's kind of a spooky guy. 3 cost. Vigilance and Menace. Ooh, that's fun. I don't think any of our elves have Vigilance, actually. Abomination of Llanowar's power and toughness are equal to the number of elves you control, plus the number of elf cards in your graveyard. So kind of similar to our Moon Vigil Adherence, but specifically elves. Which is kind of cool. I like it. I also like that it has Vigilance and Menace. Very, very fun. This could be one that we look to pick up, actually. It's also 3 costs, so it's cheaper on the terms of, like, the mana curve. So we could potentially pick that up at some point. It is an uncommon? So, again, could be one that we end up finding in, like, a bulk bin somewhere, although I don't know if it would be too likely to be in a bulk bin, but you never know. You never know. I might need to make a little trip sometime to a store at some point. But thank you, Robert. Thank you for pointing that out to me. I don't think I'd actually seen that card before. Let Let me see here. I like the pleasant vibes of the music we've got going on in the background here. Whew. Also, I don't know if I mentioned this on stream. Currently, we can't use our washing machine because there's a blockage issue with our pipes. And anytime the washing machine tries to put water in it, the water is not going into the washing machine. It is going all over the floor and all over the plug sockets. So we've been told we can't use the washing machine until we get a plumber out to take a look at it. So I've had to borrow the use of my grand's washing machine. Nothing worse than blocked pipes. I know, right? Annoying. Especially when we've had such hot weather. Normally I would be doing all the kinds of washing and getting it hung out and getting it dried, but not so much. I'm having to wait until I can use my grand's washing machine. Okay, I think that's fine. Okay, right, where did we get to? Where are we at? Not too many cards left for this deck, actually. It's taken us, what, nearly 2 hours to go over this first deck. To be fair, I'm going over the cards and, like, we're chatting. We're having a nice vibe. We're not in a rush to get anything done here. This is more so just a chilled out card game time. We have Elder Fang Venom. This one is apparently $10. Did not know that. This one is a 4-cost. 2 colorless, black and green. Attacking elves you control have Death Touch. Whenever an elf you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life, and you gain a life. Which is, you know, very nice. I keep not reading this card properly, and I keep thinking it's like, oh, elves in general have Death Touch. No. It's attacking ones. They need to be attacking for them to have the Death Touch shenanigans. Hi Sam, welcome to the stream. Welcome. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing fabulous this fine, well, I say fine evening, this melting evening where we're all suffering in the heat. But it's fine. We have a nice cold drink, and we're trying to just have a chilled out time, just talking about magic cards. So feel free to hang out. Yeah, it's a very tropical evening. I'm not used to this. In Scotland, I'm used to the dourness. I'm used to the rain and the cold. I'm not used to this tropicality happening in my environment. Have I thought about Elvish Champion? Let me look up that. This sounds like a familiar card. Where is it? Elvish Champion? Elvish Champion? Where are you at? Hello? Where did you go? What? Where did it go? Robert, I lost it. Where'd the card go? Oh, there it is. I was like, where did that come from? I will be up there in a couple of weeks. Oh, are you visiting Scotland? Aw, that's nice. Well, hopefully you visit when the weather is nice. I mean, I literally did just complain about the heat right there. We are having a bit of a heat wave, but, well, fun times. I hope you have a lovely time while you're here. Elvish Champion. 3 cost. Lord. Why is this not an elf? I work the Fringe every year. Oh, so you're going for the Fringe. Oh, cool. I haven't been to the Fringe in, God, years. I feel like it's been years. I went, like, a lot pre-COVID. Pre-COVID I went to the Fringe quite a lot, but I haven't been in, like, a few years. But I think that's mainly just because I've not seen any shows advertised that I've wanted to go see. I'll maybe need to check out the program for shows and stuff, because it has been a while. It has been a while, and I would like an excuse just to travel to Edinburgh. Might be a good excuse. Might need to check up some shows. Why is this not an elf, Robert? It's called Elvish Champion, but it's a lord. It is. They errated it. The errated version is. Is there another printing of it? Why is this one like nearly 330 quid? What the fuck? Okay, let's look at this one then. No, this one is Spanish. Why is this Spanish? Hold the phone. Switch printing. Is there an English version of this card, please? Select. Okay, now it's an elf. Now it's an elf. There we go. They fixed it. They errated it. Okay, now it's an elf. Other elf creatures you control get +1/+1 and have forest walk. They can't be blocked as long as the defending player controls a forest. Huh. Decent. We put a pod together every year and play. We've got a couple from orphans that play. Oh, that's so much fun! How exciting! I love that. I love that. A little bit of performing, a little bit of magic, perhaps. We like to see it. We like to see it. Fun stuff. Fun stuff. Well, I'll hopefully I might check out, see what shows are on. I'm a big lover of musicals, and musicals tend to be at the Fringe a lot. So I'll need to have a nosy to see if there's any musicals I want to see that are on. I also like because there is what is the shop called? I think is it called Blackwell's or Black? It's either Blackwell's or Blacksmith's. It's like it's a bookshop, but they've got a downstairs section where they have a lot of like D&D books, and they sometimes have magic cards down there. They sometimes have packs. I like to visit that shop quite a bit whenever I'm in Edinburgh. Yeah, this card seems pretty good. Blackwell's. Yeah, that was the name of it. It's the only issue is that it's so far up the Royal Mile or whatever. Like, it's so far away. Normally I would come into like Edinburgh Waverley if I'm coming into Edinburgh, and for my poor little legs, it is quite a distance, especially with how steep the walk goes when you're walking up. It's better walking down, but the walk up is killer on my poor little legs, especially with my now diagnosed sciatica. Does a number on my legs, so I have to take it easy when I'm walking up that way. But hopefully, maybe. I don't think I have many plans during the month of Fringe. I'll need to speak to Griffin and see if we can go see a show, because I want to see something. I need a scooter. I don't know if I want to like commit to getting a mobility scooter. Then I just feel bad. But no, this card seems good. Might need to see the one that I've chosen here. Apparently does not have a price. This one is stupid expensive, I'm assuming, because it's a secret lair. This one's about 17. These are online promos. Yeah, so seems like it's a little bit of a spenny card. Not as spenny as some of the other cards that we've got, but use cheapest. Apparently this is the cheapest. Okay. But yeah, this might be one that we need to see about grabbing to upgrade the deck. Potentially. Possibly. Here's a card actually we were talking about earlier on. Dionys. This guy. Hello, sir. You're one of those weird jumpstart cards that were very expensive for some reason. Probably because you've got a very good ability. So he is a 4 cost. He costs 3 colorless and a green. Elf Druid. Elves you control have, whenever this creature becomes tapped during your turn, untap it and put a 1/1 counter on it. This ability triggers only once each turn. So yeah, as we were talking about earlier, untapping our elves is fantastic because a lot of them have tap abilities, and getting to use those abilities twice in a turn is very, very fun. Very, very fun. I think, if I remember correctly, I managed to get this card fairly cheap for the price. I think this was before it kind of went up a little bit. Also, Jaheira. Yes, okay, first of all, I really want Jaheira. Not specifically to go into this deck. I kind of want to build a deck around Jaheira specifically because I don't remember the YouTube channel I was watching, but it was a commander game. And the person was, I think it was running a black-green deck with Jaheira. And I think the idea of it was that Jaheira, the whole point, I think it was something to do with either an oven or a cauldron. And it was all about, like, sacrificing creatures and recursion and getting a bunch of stuff off of, like, the triggers and things. It looked fun, and I was like, oh, I might want to build something like that at some point. And I'm like, oh, great, another black-green deck to build. But I also just want Jaheira because Baldur's Gate card, and I like Baldur's Gate. Soul Cauldron. Yeah, that's the one. Why did I think it was the oven? I don't know why I thought it was the oven. But yeah, I want to pick up Jaheira at some point. Very surprised I didn't see more Baldur's Gate cards in, like, the last 2 conventions that I've went to. I would have thought they would have been quite popular because obviously Baldur's Gate as an identity, as a fandom, is pretty big now. Don't know if it was as big as it was back in the day. The oven is a whole new cavalcade of shrubbery. I like the word shrubbery. It's a fun word. It's a fun little word. But yeah, I want to pick up Jaheira at some point. I think that would be a very fun card. Either to build around, or maybe put in this deck. I feel like I'd rather build around it, potentially. Maybe as a commander. Could be fun. If not, slap it in here. Because I'm pretty sure she's an elf anyway, isn't she? She is a... She's not a half-elf. She's a full elf, right? Pretty sure, because she's old. I say that. She's old. Like, that's a little bit mean to her. I love you, Jaheira. I have a... What... On my kind of wall behind my my monitors, I have quite a lot of signatures from the Baldur's Gate voice actors. I have most of them. I think the only one I'm missing... Well, the only one I'm actually missing, I think, is Lae'zel. I technically have a Halcyon one. For some reason, I don't know where I've put it. I have a Halcyon print signed by Halcyon's voice actor. I don't know where it is. I don't know where I've put it. I know it's in the house somewhere, but I've just lost it for some reason. I have pretty much everyone except Lae'zel, so I need to get Lae'zel at some point. Hopefully she can make it to a Scottish convention, and maybe I can fill out the main party. Technically speaking, I don't have, like, Minsk and Boo because that's Matthew Mercer, and he's very expensive to get a signature from nowadays, and I don't think he's ever been to a Scottish convention. So there's that. But hopefully, maybe, one day, the dream can come true. Oh, sorry, let me just check this thing real quick. My Vtuber's just like, you're having a long blink, and I'm not. I'm just looking at a different part of my screen, and it's like, your eyes are closed. I'm like, no, they're not. No, they're not. The eye tracking is funny sometimes when it does that. Let me see here. Another BH3 card, Kaga. Kaga's an elf, right? She's from the Druid circle. Shadow Archdruid. Elf Druid. Oh, and she's black-green. And she's got her snake. Whenever Kaga Shadow Archdruid attacks, it gains Death Touch until end of turn. Mill 2 cards. Once during each of your turns, you may play a land or cast a permanent spell from among cards in your graveyard that were put there from your library this turn. Seems okay. I'm not a fan of the mill. If this was specifically a mill deck with more recursion, like more graveyard interaction, I would maybe go for it. But the fact that it's only 1 power, and it mills our cards, I don't think so. It is a very cool card though. I think this would work better in a mill deck. Definitely, it would work much better in a mill deck. But a very cool card. I don't think I actually own that card. I need to try and collect more Baldur's Gate cards. I feel like, obviously, Baldur's Gate 3 was that set was before my time. I have done my best to try and get as many cards as I can from it. I did get a bundle at some point, which was very fun to open. But like trying to find like sealed Baldur's Gate stuff now is very hard. And even then, sometimes the singles also very expensive. So yeah, even like single packs I've found have been quite expensive and hard to find. I'm hearing weird sounds from the background music there, but apologies. Let me see. Okay, so what was the last card we did? It was Dinus? Dinus. That was the last card. Okay. Seymour is an elf? Yes, actually. Fun fact. I'm pretty sure. Where? There we go. Actually, we'll do him next. Seymour is actually in this deck, funnily enough, now that you mention it, Robert. I have... There he is. He is an elf. He is a human elf cleric for some reason. I'm sure maybe someone else could explain to me why he is. But yeah, according to Magic Gathering, he is. He's a very fun creature. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a number of 1/1 counters equal to his power on another target creature you control. And then if you pay 5, you Monstrosity X, where X is the number of counters among creatures you control. So you put that many counters on Seymour. You don't activate that ability again because he's become monstrous. But then each combat, you're then adding that to one of your creatures. So it combos very well with cards like Marwyn, who are getting a lot of counters. So that's why having a lot of counters on our side is also very important. So very fun times there. Also just a rare. Very good card for a rare. Where are we at now? Apparently, according to our system down here, we are at $355 for the price of this deck. And we're at 77 cards. Okay, next up we have a little artifact here. Scroll down. We have Ring of Colonia, a 2-cost artifact. It's an equipment. Equipped creature has trample, and at the beginning of your upkeep, put a +1/+1 counter on equipped creature if it's green. Most of our creatures are green. There's only a couple of exceptions where we have black creatures. But for the most part, most of our creatures are black. Or, not black, are green. And the equip cost is only 1. So it is very cheap. And another good way of getting counters on our stuff. So, fun times there. Okay, what is this one here? Let me see if I can actually read it properly. Ooh, okay. Another big, not big cost, but rather a big guy. Where did you go? You're there. Champions of the Perfect. So a 4-cost elf warrior, so 6/6. As an additional cost to cast this spell, behold an elf and exile it. So to behold, we have to exile an elf we control or an elf card from our hand. And whenever you cast the creature spell, draw a card. When the creature leaves the battlefield, return the exiled card to its owner's hand. So for 4 cost, we've got like a big beefy elf. And yes, we have to exile an elf. But it's fine, because we get it back when this dies anyway. And it's a form of card draw, which we really like. Reese the Exiled looks useful. I'm going to have a quick little scannage. I don't think we have that in the deck, but let me have a little nosy. Let me have a little gander. What is Reese the Exiled? What do you do? What do you do? Reese, there you are. Whenever Reese the Exile attacks, you gain 1 life for each elf you control. Ooh, very fun card. A bit more life gain for all our elves. Very nice. See, look, we're getting these good suggestions here. So definitely, I think we need to be on the lookout for this one. It's a rare from. What set is that? Let me see. Few details. Oh, it's from Kaltime, so I'm guessing this was in the Commander deck then, because it says Kaltime Commander. So it must have been in the Commander deck. The list helps. Yeah, exactly, the list helps. If it is a Commander card, this might be a little bit tricky to get. I don't think it's been reprinted anywhere, but we might need to keep an eye out for that. I have finished my can. It is time to open another can. Wait, hold on. There, ooh. There we go. Whew. It is so warm in here with the lights on, but I need the lights on if my camera is going to see my model. Or see me, rather, for my model. I am sweating underneath the lights. Oof. Okay, next up we have, another Planeswalker. This one is that one. Liliana, Death Wielder. So, she costs 7, so she's a little bit of a expensive Planeswalker to put out. She is 5 colors and 2 black. She starts with 5. Her +2 is you put a -1/-1 counter on up to 1 target creature. We like to see. Her -3 is destroy target creature with a -1/-1 counter on it. So we can just pop a counter on something and then, like, maybe next turn just get rid of it. Very handy. And then her -10, which is very expensive for an ultimate, but hey ho. Return all creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. I like this. I love this mass graveyard recursion interaction. Probably, I think, ideally the best Planeswalker for this deck. If I had to cut one of our Planeswalkers, I feel like I'd be leaning towards maybe cutting Vraska if we were going to cut one. But Liliana would stay. Liliana is a staple for this deck, I feel like. She is too good. She is too good not to be here. Essentially. Right, let's, this one actually is a Lord of the Rings card, so it's very prevalent in terms of the theming we have for this deck. So we have Andoril, Narsil, Reforged. So 2 cost. Ascend. If you control 10 or more permanents, you get the city's blessing for the rest of the game. And whenever equipped creature attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. If you have the city's blessing, put 2 counters on each creature you control instead. And considering that we're going to be making a lot of permanents with our token generation, very possible that we could get the city's blessing and get this to pop off. I honestly don't think I've actually had a game where I have managed to get this equipment out and attach it to a creature. But I like the fact that it's in the deck because the possibility is there. It could happen. In our 99 cards, it is a potential that could be achieved. Swarm Guildmage is good for Menace. Let's have a look at Swarm I can't type. Swarm Guildmage. What do you do then? Swarm. So it's a 2 cost. You pay 5 plus 4 colorless, 1 black. Creatures you control get +1 and gain menace until end of turn. And then 2 and tap, you gain a life. Seems okay. I'm not too sure. It's a very expensive cost to be able to give everything menace. I'm not too sure. I don't know how to feel about that. I think it's a maybe. I feel like we're on a maybe side of things. I like the art though. The art is very cool. I like that. I like that a lot. Oh, we have another enchantment. Unnatural growth. See what I mean? I like my enchantments. Nope, this is not the right artwork. This is not the right artwork. It's this one. Hello. So this one, one of our more pricey enchantments. It costs 5. It's like 1 colorless and 4. At the beginning of each combat, double the power and toughness of each creature you control until end of turn. So again, this is one of our cards that helps boost our elves in terms of power, in terms of their battering ability, essentially. Trommel. I love how you're now just naming elf cards now. Seymour's Butler. Hello, elf man. Apparently you're also an elf. Another elf advisor. 3 cost. Each other non-token creature you control enters with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. You can pay 1 and tap him. Proliferate X times, where X is the number of non-token creatures you control that entered this turn. Huh. That seems okay. It does count on you getting creatures in a turn. I don't know if it's fast enough for this deck. It is very thematic to have Seymour and then Seymour's Butler. Don't know what I would cut to put him in if I was going to put him in. But he seems interesting. He is rare, so not too bad. Maybe. It's a maybe. Oh, this next one. This next card is one that I don't really... The fun fact, the 2 times I've managed to get this card onto the field, I was either immediately knocked out because of it, or it immediately got blown up. This is the card that was very much hyped up when Morcant got revealed, because people realized that you technically could go infinite with this card. So, Flourishing Defenses. It's a 5 cost enchantment. It is 4 colorless and a green. Whenever a -1/-1 counter is put on a creature, you may create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token. If you have this out with Morcant, and you get that trigger off with making an elf or putting the counter, you could potentially go infinite with this and just board wipe everything. So I guess this is technically an infinite combo, potentially. It is a very funny card. I have not been able to use it to its full potential yet because people see me play this card, and then I immediately become the target. I am then said I am the threat, which is not very nice. But also, if you want to, I've got an Innistrad Black and White Unnatural Growth. Oh, very fancy. Very, very fancy. I might be tempted. Might be tempted. It's evil? No, it's not evil. What do you mean it's evil? It's a well and balanced card, Robert. Look at this. How could you look at this card and say that it's evil? Also, Viconia. Is Viconia... Viconia is in the Baldur's Gate set, right? Viconia? Drow Apostate. Drow, I forgot she's a person. Sometimes, I forget. At the beginning of your upkeep, if there are 4 more creature cards in your graveyard, return a creature card at random from your graveyard to your hand. Oh wow, that's pretty good actually. She's an uncommon? Damn. Didn't know that. I might need to check my bulk. I don't think I have her. I feel like I would recognize her if I had her. I don't think I have her. I'll need to check my black bulk actually, to see if I have her. But I don't think I do. Oh.
The underscore improper moth underscore might just cheer 10 bits.
Thank you so much for the bits, ma'am. Thank you very much. Kinda gay? Yeah, those bits do look kinda gay, but we like the pride cheer. Kinda gay like me? Yeah, kinda gay also like me, because, you know, I've got these. I got my little pansexual worms. I got my little pansexual worms. Do a little dance. They do a little dance. They do a little wiggle. We get the wiggle on. Kinda gay. I got a box of Baldur's Gay a few years ago. I'll go through it on Friday and look. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Robert. You can see if there is a Viconian, because that would actually be a very good card, potentially. To put my combination. You have the non-beanies, and you got the trans worms. And you got the bi-worms. You got a lovely little combination. You got a lovely little combination of wormies there. We appreciate and we love. Guys, it's still Pride Month. It's still Pride Month. You know, anything can happen. It's still Pride Month. Although, fun fact, I was talking to Griffin the other day there, because we were talking about how we wanted to go to another Pride event this year. And I was talking to him about how it's so weird. I don't know if it's because of, like, just planning things. Pride Month? Kinda gay. Yeah, it is. I don't know if it's just in terms of, like, trying to plan things with, like, councils or whatnot. But I'm pretty sure Glasgow Pride is in July. I don't know why gay is an offensive word. Twitch is being Twitch is being very homophobic, actually. Trying to flag up the word gay. I don't know why, because, well, we are hella gay over here on the Scribble Sketch Studio channel. Don't know why it's trying to deny me. I must be very homophobic, damn. It seems to be fine when you put it in caps lock for some reason. Twitch doesn't seem to notice when you're being loud and gay. But I was saying how, like, oh, we should go to Glasgow Pride again this year, because we had fun at it last year. And it's always in July. Seems like. For some reason, Glasgow Pride is in July. I don't know if it's just because of planning things. Wow. Apparently, it just does... Apparently, you're just not allowed to say it, Mimp. You've been denied. Twitch chat is just like, no. Nah. Can't do it. I don't know if I have to go into my settings and fix that. I don't know. Because apparently it's like messages caught by channel blocked terms, but I've not blocked the word gay. I don't know what the issue is there. Lost the G word pass. I don't know if it's letting Robert say it because he's a mod, but I don't know. I have a heckin' confusion. I do not understand. I do not understand. I'm gonna dance the problem away. There we go. You are now a straight white sister. I'm surprised Twitch didn't, like, raise a flag to that. But, hey-oh. We live and we learn. Anyway, I was saying how, like, I'm surprised how Glasgow Pride is in July and not June. It's very strange. Very, very strange. Why is it not in Pride Month? Anyway, I say we're nearly done with this deck. We've been at this deck for, like, 2.5 hours now. But it's been a nice chill time. I hope you guys have been having a nice chill time here. We're just chilling. We're just vibing. Talking about the game. Epic Struggle. I just think this is a funny card, and I would love to win a game via this card at one point. This is an alternate win condition card. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 20 or more creatures, you win the game. I would love if I somehow managed to win a game with this card. 9 times out of 10, it gets blown up well before I get anywhere close to 20 creatures. But I just think it would be funny if I managed to win a game with this at one point. So that's why it's still in the deck. That's why it's still here, despite everything. We also have this card. Gwym Affliction. This one is another instant. Put a -1/-1 counter on target creature, then proliferate. Nothing too complicated. I've been sat playing Reload while watching. My blue-haired Chad just got inducted to the council. I feel scared. Don't let the power go to your head. The power of the council might corrupt you. You know, politics and all that. Not that I like to get political on this channel. I try to refrain from doing so because people put on streams to get away from the mundaneness and the stress of reality. So I don't want to chat politics. And Imperious. Is that how you spell it? Yes. Imperious Perfect. There you is. There's another buff card. Other elves you control get +1/+1. And we can pay a green and tap. And we just make a token. More buffs. More elves. Reality is hunting me down. Like, I am hiding in a bunker. But reality is an atomic bomb. Yeah. Very fun card for this deck. Gives all our elves a little bit of a boost. And also, we can just make a bunch of tokens. That's pretty much it. There's not much else to say about that. It does what it says on the tin. Diabolic Tutor. But that's not the printing that we have. We have the Miku one. We have the fun Miku one. 4 cost. Search your library for a card. Put that card into your hand. Then shuffle. Very easy card search. 9 times out of 10, I don't actually know for definite what card I want to search for if I play this. It's very situational. It really just depends on what's happening in the moment. I don't have like a go-to card that I would pull out. But it's very situational. That's why it's here. You know, we need to adapt. We need to adapt to the situation at hand. Boop. Wild Slayer Elves looks basic, but maybe useful. Let's have a look. Wild Slayer. Wild Slayer. Wither. This deals damage to a creature in the form of -1/-1 counters. Kind of fits the theme with the -1/-1 counters. It's a 4 cost 3/3. Like you said, a little bit basic, but could be useful. Would probably like make people second guess blocking, because then their creature gets like weaker. So potentially. It's also one of those like kind of oldish cards in that art style that I really like, which is very on brand. It's very pretty. Very, very pretty. We have Dwenen. Gilt Leaf Dane. Where'd you go? There, you're there. There you are. There you is. This one's got reach, so this is one of the very few elves that we have that can actually block flyers. Other elf creatures you control get +1/+1. Some nice little buff there. And whenever Dwenen attacks, you gain 1 life for each attacking elf you control. So there you go, a bit more life gain, specifically for attacking. But you know what? Potentially, if we get a big enough board state, we don't mind just going ham and swinging for all we are worth. This next one is a... Oops. Why am I caps locking? That's not what we want. Elvish Archdruid. Not the copy that I've got. We have... this one. I think it's... This is Call Time one? Yes, it's Call Time one. There we go. This one, another fairly simple card in theory. Other elves we control get +1/+1. We tap them and we gain. We make green for each elf we control. So similar to Marwyn, this is very much a ramping kind of mana base, but this time it's for the amount of elves we have, which does work very well, actually. Works very well and allows us to just make a load of mana to play more elves. That's what we like to see. That's what we like to see. Oh, look, we've managed to breach $400 on this deck. We did it. Huzzah. Ooh, we have a tribal enchantment. Very fun. I have so many enchantments. I have like 8 enchantments. Is that too many enchantments? Who's to say? Who's to say? This one is a tribal enchantment for elves. It costs 2. Whenever another non-token elf is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, you may create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token. So we get rewarded for our regular elves dying by making a token. Pretty much, yeah, it's a win-win situation there. Yes, we lose an elf, but technically we gain an elf. So, do we really lose anything? Not particularly, but you never know. It's, you know, it swings and roundabouts, is however you want to put it. I think this is, yep, this is another Planeswalker. Garrick. I should go through Mirim. I haven't made a deck list for a while. It's quite fun. It's quite therapeutic just to put the cards of your deck in a deck list and just look at it. Because sometimes it's just quite satisfying to see it on like a screen, like, and so easily like broken down into like, okay, how many creatures do I have? How many lands do I have? What is the value of this deck according to blah de blah de blah. But this Planeswalker here, Garrick, not as expensive as our Liliana, but it is of 6 cost. Starts with 4 loyalty. The +1 is reveal the top 5 cards of your library, put all creature cards revealed this way into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library, in any order. So this is a fun way for us to just refill our hand with elves, because for the most part, most of our elves are fairly cheap, so we empty our hand fairly quickly. So this is a good way for us to restock our hand on creatures. And then the -3 one, sorry, is we may put a green creature card from our hand onto the battlefield. This is perfect for those bigger cost creatures that we've got. And then the ultimate, which is -7. You get an emblem with whenever you cast a creature spell, you may search your library for a creature card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. I like this ultimate ability because it doesn't specify that they need to have the same mana value. It just says put a creature card in. So any creature card doesn't matter about creature type, doesn't matter about cost, doesn't matter about color. We just get another creature. And emblems, correct me if I'm wrong, Robert, I don't think there's any way to remove emblems still. There is no emblem removal. Which I don't think... I mean, I don't know how prevalent emblems really are in the grand scheme of things. It's very dependent on what Planeswalker. And no, emblems can't be removed. Exactly. So, if we, say for example, manage to get Garrick up to 7, we get that emblem off. It's nuts. It's crazy. It's crazy for our game. More to show off the weird synergies than anything else. Need to put Ren and Realmbreaker. Are you talking about putting Ren and Realmbreaker into your Mirim, or putting it into my elf deck? Okay, now we're calming down a little bit in terms of yours. I'll maybe have to look. We've got a lot more elves. A lot more elves, very, very simple. Not this printing though. That's not the one that we've got. We just have. I love this secret lair Llanowar elves. It's very pretty. It's so nice. We just have a basic ass one from Foundations. Yeah, cost 1, tap it, make green. Very simple mana dork. What was the one you said? Wren and Realmbreaker? Let me have a look. Wren and Realmbreaker. Is that a planeswalker? Yeah, it is. So let's see. Lands you control have add +1 mana of any color. Well, that's already pretty good because that's color fixing for us. +1. Up to 1 target land you control becomes a 3/3 elemental creature with vigilance, hexproof, and haste until your next turn. It's still a land. -2. Mill 3 cards. You may put a permanent card from among the milled cards into your hand. -7. You get an emblem with you may play lands and cast permanent spells from your graveyard. Oh damn, that is pretty good. I feel like we could essentially, possibly, we could cut Vraska. If we did get this card, I don't know how much it is. It's like, it says here like $6.49. So it doesn't seem like it's too expensive a card. It is a mythic from, is it March of the Machine this is from? I think so. It's MOM, so I think it's March of the Machine. We could potentially cut Vraska and put this in instead. Maybe. Possibly. Potentially. Would be kind of funny. Would be kind of cool. It would be so awesome. It would be so cool. I use this in my green-white counters. I've played it multiple times in the game. I bet you have. I bet you have. I'm pretty sure I've witnessed you putting it multiple times in the game. Ruthless. Ruthless. Ruthlessness is mercy upon ourselves. Cool. Ruthless Winnower. 5 cost, elf, rogue. At the end of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices a non-elf creature. This usually doesn't have a downside for us. It would potentially have a downside if we did have any of our non-elves on the field. So, if we ever had, say, like Witherbloom out, if we had Maha, this is a very situational card. However, it is a very good way of like forcing our opponents to thin their own battlefield. So it's good in that respect. But very situational. We would probably wait to play this when we didn't have any cards that we would need to sacrifice. But yeah, I like it for that anyway. It's a nice little answer. Without the need for like specifically targeting people. Crown of Gondor. Artifact. Hello. Another Lord of the Rings card. How on brand for our elf deck. 3 cost. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each creature you control. So again, when we have insanely big board of elves, that can be a big buff. When a legendary creature enters the battlefield under our control, if there is no monarch, you become the monarch. The equip is 4, but it costs 3 less if we are the monarch. So this introduces the monarch mechanic to the game. We don't have any other way of becoming the monarch. This is the only source of it. So 9 times out of 10, this doesn't really affect anything other than the fact that we get a buff. And we introduce the politics of monarch. And that's basically it. That's all we're doing here. Oh, this is a new card. This one. New Planeswalker. This is fairly recent, actually. We don't have this one, but we have this one. Yeah. We have Professor Delian Fell. This is from the recent Strixhaven set, actually. Cost 2 colors, black and a green. The +2 is you gain 3 life, so it's a very simple, easy way for us to gain life. The 0 is you draw a card and lose 1 life. -3, destroy target creature. And -6, you get an emblem with whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. So a nice little bit of life gain, life drain. We love to see it. You got the full art, nice. Yes, I managed to get the full art. I'm pretty sure I got this at the Glasgow card show, or the Scotland card show rather, a little bit ago. So not too bad. Very happy with that. Very, very nice. But yeah, we have a decent lineup of Planeswalkers. I think there's only one more Planeswalker, and it's actually the next card that we have here. I think is the last Planeswalker. So we have quite a lot of Planeswalkers here. I would probably say this is probably too many, but you know what? It's my deck. I'll have as many Planeswalkers as I want. We have Miku, Voice of Power. She has a +2 where we just make a green elf druid creature that taps for mana. So she basically makes a mana dork. We can -2 her and destroy target artifact or enchantment. And then her -6 is we draw a card for each green creature we control. Which is kind of nuts, especially with how many creatures we can get out at any given time. It is fairly hilarious, and I love it. But yeah, I don't think I've ever managed to activate that last ability, to be fair. But most people see me play this Planeswalker, and they immediately go for her throat, and I'm just like, why? Why are you so mean to Miku? Why are you so mean to her? That's not very nice. You need to be nice to Miku. Be nice to her. She can also be your commander. I don't know if she would be very good as your commander. I don't know what... I suppose you would just put her in, like, a solid green elf tribal, I suppose. But no, I like her. She's cool. Another excuse to put a Miku card in my deck. Oh, look, we have a non-elf. We have a non-elf here. We have the Creekwood Liege. Spooky. It's a spooky horror. Other black creatures you control get +1/+1. Other green creatures you control get +1/+1. And at the beginning of your upkeep, you may create a 1/1 green and black worm creature token. So this is another one of our... this is more of a blanket buff, because it's just affecting all of our creatures of a certain colour. It's not specific to elves, so it also works for Witherbloom, it works for Maha, it works for the very few non-elves that we've got. Also quite nice to just make more tokens. Doesn't necessarily need to be elves, but just having more tokens as like chump blockers is always nice. Miku is cosplaying as Vorniclex soon. That's the new target. I mean, fair. That is also valid. I really hope, like, I'm praying to the gods above that I manage to get that secret lair. I will be so disappointed if I do not manage to get the Miku secret lair deck. I want it so badly. We don't even know the full deck list yet, but I know the minute it's announced when it's going live, I am going to be feral. I'm going to have, like, all my devices out, and I'm going to get in that queue, and you're damn well sure I'm going to get that deck, because I want it. I want it so badly. You have no idea. Okay, we have Tamio's Safekeeping. Spell. I will go feral. I go feral for Hatsune Miku, and I will not deny it. I love she. I love that girl. The fact that she's in Magic now is even better, because now I can just punch people in the face with Hatsune Miku, and they're gonna get really butthurt. And I'm gonna be sitting there with my cute little cards being like, I'm going to swing at you with Hatsune Miku, and I'm going to end your fucking life. And that's me. I'm gonna be the problem. I'm gonna be the problem, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's me. That's how I play Magic. Ha 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 ha. But yes, all praise Miku, the wonderful lady she is. And yeah, you can't stop me. You can't stop me from playing my Miku cards. You can pry my Miku cards from my cold, dead Moth hands. Murder for all? Exactly. Murder for all. Also, guys, we're nearly finished this deck. It took, like, nearly 3 hours, but we've nearly finished this deck. We have Tajuro Blightblade. Very simple 1-drop. It's just a 1/1 with Death Touch. That's it. That's all she wrote. Nothing else really crazy about her. Or him. Probably him, actually. And then we have our last card for the deck. We have Elvish Promenade. It's a tribal sorcery as opposed to a tribal enchantment here. We have this. Put a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token onto the battlefield for each elf you control. So yeah, let's just double the amount of elves that we've got on the field. Why don't we? We're going to make this everybody's problem. But yeah, that is the deck list. Finally all uploaded. Elven Chorus would be fun. I'm pretty sure I've looked up this card, but I'm going to look it up again to remind me of what it does. That is what is it? Is it enchantment? It is. Oh, it's from Lord of the Rings. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast creature spells from the top of your library. Creatures you control have add 1 mana of any color. Yes, this is a very good card. It is rare from Lord of the Rings. It's not, according to this, it's not too pricey. We could potentially get this at some point. I don't know what I would take out instead. Maybe Elderfang Venom? I don't know. Or maybe I would take out something. Maybe take out, like, maybe a Planeswalker. Or maybe one of these elves. But it is a very good enchantment. I will agree there. Very, very good. But yeah, that's our first deck finish. It took us like a long ass time, but we finally got there in the end. We got there in the end. And in total, according to this site, this deck costs $459. According to this site. This is going by dollars. I'm not too sure how accurate that is. Probably one of the more pricier decks that I own. But yeah. A lot of fun. A lot of fun just talking about this deck. I had a lot of fun building this deck in particular. Because originally, I think when I was planning on building it, I joked that I was building this for Griffin. Because I was like, oh, Griffin, I bet you would love this deck because it's got elves. And Griffin kind of likes elves. Or at least he likes to play, like, elves and or elf-adjacent characters in D&D. And I was like, oh, I'm going to build this deck for Griffin. But then Griffin really doesn't have too much of an interest in Magic. Like, sometimes he'll play to humor me. And just, like, if I'm badly wanting to play Magic and I have no one to play against, or I want to, like, test hands, or I want to test decks, he will use a precon that I have, the fairy precon from Wilds of Eldraine, and will just humor me for a bit. But I actually ended up playing this a lot, and I enjoy playing this deck quite a bit. It is quite a fun deck. 9 times out of 10, I do get killed immediately for playing it, because people see it and it's like, a big threat. I really want to play him one day. I know, Griffin just doesn't have interest in Magic. Like, the very few times he's played, it's mainly just because, like, I think we've been somewhere where Magic is happening, there's not been enough for a pod, and I have somehow convinced him to join, and he kind of just sits there and he goes, I will play a thing and pass, and he never attacks. He never attacks. He'll bounce everybody's boards back to their hands, he'll deny them things, and then just kind of giggle at how long the game is going, but that's about it. Griffin's really not interested in Magic. I don't blame him. He's got his own interests. We don't need to have the same interests. It's fine. It's fine. I love him regardless. I love him regardless. But yeah. We finally finished the deck. Rejoice, guys. We did it. We got to the end of a deck. Now, what time is it, actually? It is... Oh, my goodness. It is 10 to 11. Griffin actually should be leaving for work fairly soon. If he hasn't left already. It's not 10 to, actually. Sorry, it's 22. It's 20 to 11. But yes, 20 to 11. Where has the time gone? Oh my goodness. But this has been quite a fun stream to do. I don't know if we'll go through another deck. Well, I just remembered that Vox Machina Season 4 ends today. Yes, no spoilers. Griff and I haven't watched it yet because we were sleeping for quite a while. We're going to watch it tomorrow after we recover from late nights. But we're going to watch it tomorrow, so no spoilers. No spoilers from anyone in chat, please and thank you. We wish to watch it in our own time. I haven't finished it yet. Yeah, the last 3 episodes just came out today for Season 4. Season 4, I think, has been really good. If I had to rank the seasons so far, I think definitely it would go Season 1, then Season 3, Season 4, and Season 2. I don't know if I really like Season 2 all that much, but that's my ranking so far of them. And I think they did confirm that they're getting a Season 5. And I think that's the last season. But yeah, I've been enjoying Vox Machina Season 4. I'm very keen on Season 2 of Mighty 9 coming out. Please and thank you. Also, hello, Orbiters! Welcome to the stream! Thank you so much for the hydrate. Thank you, thank you. I need to take a little sip now. Thank you very much. Thank you kindly. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing good this fine evening. We're just having a very chill stream tonight. We're just doing some Magic the Gathering deck building. We have literally just finished doing our first deck, and it took us like nearly 3 hours. 3 hours because I was spending a lot of time yapping about cards, funnily enough. Actually, we can do a play test. We can do a little play test hand here. Just so I can give you like an idea on like what a normal-ish kind of turn cycle would go. So, looking at this hand here, right? Not a good hand because we only have 1 land. I guess I'll just LARP and act like I know what is going on. Very fair. I do my best to explain what is going on, and what cards do, and why card is good. Can I mulligan, please? No. Can we restart? Yes, restart. Oh, see, there you go. Let's say that was our mulligan, right? So, look at this hand here. So, immediately... Well, first of all, we need to draw. Draw card. Oh my goodness, never punished. Never punished. So, for example... Forest. We tap this forest to play the Soul Ring. The lovely Miku Soul Ring. Look how gorgeous it is. What a fabulous turn. And then we go to our next turn. Never punished. We're going to play a Swamp. Already, turn 2. We could play our commander. Miku! There's quite a lot of Miku cards in this deck, actually. There's quite a lot of Miku cards. So already turn 2, we could play our commander. Do we want to play our commander? I don't know. I don't know who we're fighting right now. But, you know, we could if we wanted to. So already, that's like the best turn 2. Opening hand, land, Soul Ring. Get another land, cast, commander. Ideally, if we, like, say we, for example, like, tap, and then tap the Soul Ring. We could play our commander! Morcant is here. So then, every other elf that we play, she gives the -1/-1 counters. Fabulous. And then look. Okay, that time we were slightly punished because we didn't get another land. But it's fine because we have Soul Ring. And it's also fine because we're going to tap. No, we're going to tap the forest to play the Llanowar elves. We make the blight counters. We now have access to green again. We have 3 here. Which, not enough to play this card. But then, we go to our next turn. Never punished. We get a forest. If we cast Nature's Lore. You get what I mean. So this was insanely good luck from this one. But yeah, very optimum play here. Get Morcant out quickly, get a bunch of elves out, and yeah, pretty much we're golden. Since Orbiters seemed very excited about the Miku cards, I will show some off. Oh, it's a griffin. Say hi to a griffin, chat. Hi, Griffin. Griffin's going away to work now because he needs to work night shift.
Yeah.
He's getting ready to leave me.
I don't wanna.
I know you don't wanna. I know. We're just having a fun time here on the stream. They're saying hi to you.
Hello, chat.
They're saying hi. We're just having a fun time here. I'm like floating. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know if it's because it sees you in the background. Oh no, you don't have to worry about it. I'll be back. Kick the hotel's ass. Apparently you have to kick ass.
Not much ass to kick on night shift.
I suppose, yeah. Everybody's eeping. Everybody's eeping on night shift. But yeah. Haha, I get kisses. I get kisses.
Right, that's me going.
Okay. I will miss you.
I'll miss you too.
And when you come home, cuddles?
Sure. Yeah.
Yay. I love you.
I love you too.
I love you. Say bye to Griffin, chat.
Bye, chat.
Say bye-bye. Robert says do war crimes and be gay.
I'll try.
Are the boys in bed or?
I'm still up.
They're still up. Okay, that's fine. I'll put them to bed once I finish stream. Bye. I love you. Bye. And now Griffin is gone. He has left. He has left this abode. Off to work he go. But yeah, Orbiters, if you're interested in the Miku cards, we have this Miku here. She's a very lovely Miku. She looks very pretty. Voice of Power. She is a very pretty card. We love her. We love Miku very much. We also have this Miku, who is pink. We have the pink Cherry Blossom Sakura Miku. Very, very nice. We also have this artwork, where we've got Ren and Lin on it as well. We also have Harmonize, with a lovely Miku right there. And then the Soul Ring, obviously, with the Miku on it. And then I think that's it for Miku cards in this deck. But yes, we have finally finished the deck here. Huzzah. We call it Yes Mother. It is quite late. I don't know if I'm gonna stay up to do another deck. We could. Oh, why am I disappearing off camera? Oh, where am I going? my VTube studio was like freaking out. It's like I'm disappearing. I'm going into the void. Like, no, I'm not. Where am I going? Who even knows? I don't know if I'm gonna have enough time to do another deck tonight. Deck building stream is fun. Yeah, I think it was a lot of fun. I think it's nice to just do a kind of more chill, laid-back stream where we're mostly just chatting, interacting with each other, talking about cards, just yapping away. I don't think we have enough time probably to do another deck right now. However, I'll open up the floor to Robert because he knows pretty much the majority of my decks that I have. If we do this type of stream again, Robert, what deck do you think we should do next? Which deck should we build next on stream? You kind of know the majority of my decks, so I think you have a good idea of like what we could do next to show off to the stream. Sid? We should do Sid next? That's quite fun, actually. I did add a couple of new cards from the Marvel set, from things that I pulled. So I will add, we'll go, I'll call it Zaddy Sid. And then we get Sid, Timeless Artificer. Not this Sid though, it's a different Sid. Switch printing. We want, where is he? We want this Sid! Cause this is Because this is the Sid that I like. Also, if you want to test your decks against CPU, download this. Oh, what's this? I love how Twitch is like, oh, don't open it. Okay, this looks complicated. What the hell? Robert, what have you sent me? What is this? What the hell have you sent me? What is this? I am confused. I am frightened. It's the app I play Commander on. Well, I have no idea what any of this means, so you're probably going to have to explain it to me after stream sometime or something like this, because this just looks a whole look of gobbledygook to me. Like, what is this? I can't, like, what? What? I cannot fathom. I do not understand. I'm assuming it, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, you'll probably need to teach me about this another time. I'll keep the tab up here anyway, just in case. Next time we meet, I'll show you. Okay, cool. You know what? I'll save the bookmark. There we go. So then I don't lose it. Also, this is what is now currently playing. But yeah, so I think we will do another one of these streams at some point. Maybe not next week, because next week I'm wanting to do a little. I'm doing a design review on VTubers who commented on my post. So we've got that next week anyway. So I might not do it next week, but I think we should make this like a semi-regular thing. I'm pretty sure a cat broke in here, but I cannot confirm or deny. Much confusion. But I think next time we're on, we build our lovely Sid deck. And we talk about that one in particular. This one is quite fun because it has a lot of I feel like this one also has a lot of Universes Beyond cards in it. Mainly it's got Final Fantasy. It did recently get a bunch of cards from the Marvel set because there's been a lot of artifact creatures in the Marvel set which were actually pretty good. So there's a lot there. But yeah, I think that could be... Oh, I'm going to snooze this ad actually. Let me snooze it. Because I think we'll be probably wrapping up soon-ish anyway. After Sid do Astarion, that'll be fun to show off. Yeah, we need to do Astarion. Astarion, my baby deck. Like, I won't say it was the first deck I built. Technically, the first deck I built was Zinc, which I don't know where that deck has gone. I feel like I've lost it when we moved house, but I have no confirmation as to how I could have lost it because I'm fairly certain I didn't leave it behind. We packed literally everything when we moved. So my only thought is that either it got lost in the move, or it is still somewhere among our things and I just have not found it. Which makes me really sad because I really like that deck and I itch to play that deck again, but I have no idea where it is. Same with my Forge deck. I also lost my Forge deck. Which also makes me really sad because there's a lot of expensive cards in those decks. And I have no idea where they are. I might need to take a day, actually, to just, like, go through all my stuff and see if I can find these decks because they are still missing in action. And that makes me sad. But yeah, we will show off Astarion probably after Sid. But this has been fun. I hope everyone had a fun time with it. I hope you had a nice... I think you used the Forge deck on me once. It was fun. Yeah, it is a very fun deck. It's very much more of a laid-back deck because most of the win cons are just in regard to, like, gaining treasures and things. So you're not really being, like, a force straight away. You're very much a background kind of player, kind of taking it easy, kind of. But yeah, I hope I can find those decks at some point, and then I can maybe play them again. But yes, this has been a fun stream. I hope we can do it again sometime. It's been pretty fun to just do something a little bit more laid back, a little bit more chill. Just chat away, just talk and look at cards and things. I hope that maybe I could get it... Oh, sorry. My nose is, like, quite sore, so I'm, like, sounding like a little nasally. My apologies. Oh, dear. I don't know if it's, like, hay fever or something. But yes, I hope maybe at some point I can get a tabletop simulator or something and maybe potentially get Commander games going through that. That could be very fun to do on stream. I'd have to find people that would be willing to play. But that's the same way where, like, I struggle to get anyone to play Uno with me. I want to play Uno on a stream, but trying to find people that want to play Uno is hard. For some reason. Why nobody want to play Uno with me? That's so sad. But yes, you can play it online through the app. I know. But, like, you don't have Commander on the app. Or are you talking about the app that you just sent me? You might be talking about the app that you just sent me. I'm assuming you're talking about that. Good to know. Good to know. Well, you'll need to teach me at some point. But yes, thank you everyone for tuning into the stream. Our next stream will be tomorrow night. It will be Dead by Daylight. And hopefully the anniversary event will be starting tomorrow. So we'll be playing through the anniversary event, the Black Banquet. Not entirely sure how that event is going to work, but we're going to check it out and we're going to see how it goes. And it'll be a fun old time. I think both our streams for the rest of this week are going to be Dead by Daylight because we want to get a leg up on the anniversary grind and get to work getting those unlockables and getting those in-game rewards. So I hope you guys join me for that. Tomorrow, I think we're starting at 8 PM BST again. So that'll be when we're starting. But let us see about raiding someone as we finish up our stream. Let me see here. Let me see who we can raid. Who's online that we're following? Let us have a little nosy. Let us have a little peek. Do 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 do. Let's see. Well, Cass's Gummy is doing some demos. Let's give them a little raid. I'm gonna mute myself now, guys, as we head on over. Please be polite and lovely to Cass's Gummy while we head over. So let me mute myself and we will head on over.
You might be an alien, you know, and then I have to shoot you. Oh! Scribble! Good evening, Scribbles of Scribble and Lamplings. How are we today? How was your stream? Oh. How was your stream? Is it good? Hopefully it was good. What were you streaming? Don't lie, the stream elements is messing up. What were you actually playing, Scribs? Thank you so much for the raid. What were you really playing? Because you definitely weren't playing this. I don't know why stream elements decides to be so silly recently with the raid messages.